पार्टी अपने नेताओं के बीच
Namaste, Jai Hind and welcome ladies and gentlemen to the battle for states. 4th of June doesn't seem so far away. We are back with election coverage, ladies and gentlemen. This time it's one big state and one union territory that is very, very critical. Two stories that will take the story of democracy, story of ballot perhaps to a different level of discourse, especially when we talk about the union territory of Jammu and Kashmir. And the state of Haryana will be the direct battle between the Congress and the BJP. And this Congress and the opposition, the India alliances surge post the 4th of June, where they claim that they seem to have captured the imagination of the voter and the people, and they are a strong, robust group. And the BJP, which wants to perhaps make a story here, which says that no, electoral losses come and go, but we are here to stay, and the narrative under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi prevails. But the local factors in this Akhada of Haryana, what's the real dangal all about? Well, the pollsters have cast their ballot. The numbers indicate that it's about 61% by 5 p.m. We'll come to that in just a bit. In studio with me, Zakir Jacob, as always on the magic wall. We've got Rahul Shivshankar, our consulting editor, with a whole host of experts, guests who've been tracking. And everybody's been looking at the numbers differently, or perhaps the trends differently. Haryana is one way already given to the Congress. Is it truly? What's the story? Is the voter going to vote for change after nearly a decade? Aarti Tikku with us, Nalin Mehta, Advaita Kala, and of course Pallavi Ghosh, who's been tracking and reporting on ground, along with the likes of Arunima, Avantika, and we've got Ishan Vani, all of them joining Arun Dhanta. All our reporters have been on ground covering the polls in these two regions. But what's at stake? Let's quickly get a grip on that before we open up the conversation. The exit poll numbers from those pollsters who are doing the exit polls will be coming in by about 6:30 p.m. And also, we should have, we'll be doing the poll of polls here, ladies and gentlemen. We here at the News 18 network are not doing any exit poll at all. But when it comes to Jammu and Kashmir and also Haryana, it's two high-stake polls that we are looking at. That's the criticality here. Haryana Dangal, is it for change? That's the big question. The polls in Jammu and Kashmir are the first after a decade. And it's the first time that it's for assembly elections post the abrogation of 370. So it's the UT's first vote for itself. And Haryana, it's a single-phase election. Jammu and Kashmir saw 3 phases. Haryana, single phase, all 90 seats going to the ballot today. Fight for survival and relevance for some of the regional parties in Haryana. The JJP, the INLD. Fight for survival and relevance even for some of the Rivayati parties in Jammu and Kashmir, be it the PDP or the National Conference. Will they still hold sway? What happens with the Congress party there? There is the argument of restoration or bringing back Article 370 and going back to those days, along with perhaps the underlying commitment to statehood. So as per the Supreme Court guidelines, they've conducted the assembly polls. Is this perhaps the next big step to statehood? All these conversations, do they resonate on ground, or are the issues on which people have voted on ground different from what we are talking here in the studios? We'll get to know all of that and get the pulse. But first, it's about Haryana. We'll get to Jammu and Kashmir in just a bit. Zakir Jacob on the wall with Haryana plotted. Is it going to be a similar scenario, or is this map going to look very different on result day?
We will know on Tuesday, 8th of October, what this map will look like. But this is how it played out in 2019. Remember, the BJP is in power for 10 years in Haryana. They had not come to power on their own in Haryana till 2014, and then 10 straight years in power. The last time in 2019, the BJP just about, it was still short of the halfway mark at 45. BJP managed 45 short of the halfway mark, but the JJP played kingmaker. Dushyant Chautala's party had 10% vote share, 10 seats, so 40 plus 10, they went past that 45. The Congress came short, it was just at 31 seats. This time around, the JJP, the INLD, the Aam Aadmi Party, which has also fielded, I think, about 70 odd seats out of the 90. Will they be relegated to the margins? Is it going to be a straight fight between the Congress and the BJP? Is it a classic case of anti-incumbency? I think that is going to be the critical question as far as Haryana is concerned. And very quickly, as far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned, this is new terrain. This is completely uncharted territory. Anand was mentioning this is the first election in 10 years, first election after abrogation of 370, and most importantly, first election in a wholly delimited Jammu and Kashmir.
Yes.
These constituencies, the way they exist today, did not exist in the last election cycle or the one before that. So this is completely new terrain, as it were. And like I said, here it's not a question of anti-incumbency or pro-incumbency. It's simply a question of, I think, the people's democratic choice to vote. They've got this after a long 10-year period, and people have come out and cast their ballot. Let's see which way they have decided to side with for the next 5 years.
Barring some ebbs or in some districts in Jammu and Kashmir, overall around 60% plus is the voter turnout, which is healthy, and that means there has been sizable, in some places been overwhelming. In Haryana, 5 p.m. the numbers say 61% voter turnout overall. Is that good, bad? Before we throw it across to Rahul Shankar along with our guests, quickly going across to Arun Dhanta. He's joining us from Sonipat. Arun, what's the feel on ground? As the dust settles, polling should come to a close now.
Well, that's right, Anand. And today, for the entire day, I was traveling in GT Karnal belt, and it's a very important belt for the BJP. Why? Because this time around they have a chief minister who comes from the OBC community, and this belt has a sizable population of OBC. Places like Sonipat, Yamunanagar, Kurukshetra, Ambala, Sonipat, they all fall in this GT Karnal belt. And last time around in 2019, it was 50-50. BJP won 14 seats and Congress won 13 seats from this side. But this time around, when it is up to Nayab Singh Saini, who comes from the OBC community, I think that's the card which BJP played when they replaced Manohar Lal Khattar. I started my day with Ladwa, from where Saini is contesting for the very first time. Right. This, of course, assembly segment comes under Kurukshetra, from where he was member of parliament. But one thing which I have observed on the ground in these areas is that there are hyper-local issues. I was speaking to people in Ladwa. They were saying for them the major issue is traffic congestion. Bypass is something which they want. When I asked them about the Agniveer, farmers' protest and others, the big national issues which made big headlines, they said these issues are secondary. What is important for us is hyper-local issues. They face traffic congestion on daily basis. So these are the issues that I found in
so
other
you're saying 27 of the 90
the
seats in this GT Karnal region that you talked about, Arun, great job done. We've got to catch up and we've got to move on quickly. So that's why moving on and getting you up to speed on the voter turnout. Let's just quickly look at the voter turnout. Till 5 p.m. Ambala city vote were reported about 55% as a voter turnout. If you look at Ambala Cant, and there you had and Cant, Ambala Cant came to 59.3%. Bhiwani is at 62.26%. Dadri is at 62.26%. So that was Bhiwani, and this is Dadri at 56.3%. You have Faridabad, which is reported about 49%. So a lower turnout in Faridabad. Gurgaon is at 47%. So again, lower turnout in Gurgaon. Hisar is 57%. Panipat city is 54.6%. Rewari is 61.3%. So that's Panipat city, 54.6%, and we'll get to Rewari. Now we'll have Rewari up next coming through. That is at 61.3%. And then Sonipat, where we just had Arun Dhanta, and the voter turnout is less than 50% at 5 p.m. It's 48.7%. Yamunanagar, it's 64.88%. So there are certain regions which are polling or showing less than 50% turnout. Even the urban belts and the ones which are supposed to be BJP strongholds, it should be a cause for worry for the BJP. And there are other places where the turnout is quite strong. Overall, a robust 61%. Rahul Shankar.
Yeah, let's just quickly break down Haryana for our viewers. Couple of things I want to say. Even in 2019, the BJP found it hard in Haryana. They didn't quite make the halfway mark. This is coming right off a very, very impressive performance in the Lok Sabha. So fundamentally speaking, already you saw anti-incumbency beginning to snip at the heels of the BJP as far back as in 2019. Now, what the BJP will be really hoping for is that this entire contest turns into a three-way contest. Going up against the Congress with a face that is untried, Mr. Saini, is a big gamble for the BJP. So they are hoping that it's going to turn into a three-way contest. One myth that I really want to break here is that in the 2024 election, that turned into the Lok Sabha, that turned into a two-way contest. As you know, the other parties, the JJP, etc., the INLD, all melted away after having done very well at the assembly level 5 years back, and of course the Lok Sabha in 2014. What really happened was they turned into a two-way contest, but the Jat vote did not really significantly move away from the BJP. This is the one thing that a lot of people are missing out on. So even in 2024, on the back of that entire farmer agitation, that movement, etc., and I'll just walk you through a couple of statistics that I've been looking at. The Jatland seats, around 29 seats. And if you look at least the data that I'm sort of addressing, I don't know if it'll exactly tie in with what this is, but the BJP in 2019 had 12 of these 29 seats, the Congress 15. In the Lok Sabha 2024, the BJP had 15, so actually gained in the Jatland. And the Congress lost one. The independents went completely to the BJP. So this business of saying that, oh, the Jats are furiously antagonized right now, I think we'll have to be careful before jumping to that conclusion. Yes, the BJP is definitely hoping for counter consolidation because it has, you know, Nalin projected Mr. Saini, and it would want, given that Huda is in the fray, there is obviously a big consolidation that the Congress will expect Jat vote behind it. They've given more tickets to Jats as compared to, of course, the BJP. But the counter consolidation could happen and it could throw open things. I think the Dalit vote and the OBC vote really hold the key here.
Nalin?
I want to add to what Rahul is saying. As far as the Jat vote bank is concerned, Congress has given 27 tickets to Jats, BJP to 16. So BJP has gone back to an older template of the larger social coalition beyond Jats. But Rahul is absolutely right. BJP won 15 of the Jat-dominated seats in the Lok Sabha. If you convert them into assembly seats, Congress about 14. To me, the bigger issue in this election is, you know, if you look at Haryana politics and the long view of Haryana politics, there have been 5 phases of Haryana politics, right? There was from the 60s onwards, when there was it is the heart of anti-Congressism. That's where it began. IRM politics began here. Resort politics began here, right? So there was that fun phase. Then there was a phase of the Janata parties, of the socialists largely, Vishal, Haryana, all of those guys. Then Congress comes back. There is a whole Devi Lal, the whole the Chotala generation. And now, from 2014, you've had a Narendra Modi phase in Haryana politics. For 10 years, the BJP has been in power. 2014 is the first time the BJP crosses the 30% threshold in Haryana. It's not gone down below that. Even in the Lok Sabha election of 2019 or 2024, when the BJP halved its seats from 10 to 5, its vote share was still 46%. Right? So in last 10 years has been a real outlier. It's been a new phase in Haryana politics. So now, in this election, you are seeing much less of Narendra Modi on the ground. You're hardly seeing him on the election posters of BJP, much less compared to earlier. The Prime Minister has campaigned, but not the extent that he has.
I think about 27 rallies, and
Correct.
Mr. Shah has also done 27.
Correct.
In fact, the Congress, Rahul and Priyanka have sort of not been that enthusiastic.
So the point is that BJP doesn't have. So BJP has become the pole of the election for the last 10 years. Now in a phase when you are seeing the second part of the Modi generation, if you like. Now, without a ground leader, not many people outside of Haryana know the Chief Minister of Haryana's name, right? So now in such an election, when the Congress is looking to come back, how much can the BJP hold on? Also, the BJP, because its politics has been around, is going back to an older template. It's not lost the Jats. But no, it's evenly split. But it's going back to an older template of its old.
You know, there's some couple of things here which need clarification. I think the Jat vote the last time around in the 2019 Vidhan Sabha election, the reason it split was because Dushyant Chautala put up a big fight. He got 10 seats. If those votes went to the Congress party, here's the data. I mean, the data doesn't lie. 30 seats, 29 is what you said. So 30 seats, which is basically the Rohtak belt, which is entirely Huda's. Then you go all the way up to Sirsa, Jind, Hisar, this entire central belt, Panipat. You know, it's split almost evenly between Congress and BJP, 11 seats to the Congress and 9 to the BJP. But the JJP got 6 of those seats.
In 2024?
In 2019 in the Vidhan Sabha.
So 2019 it was, I'll give you the number of the Jatland, 12 to the BJP, Congress had 15. In 2024, BJP at 15, Congress at 14.
No, but Mr. Modi's on the ticket.
That's
in
right.
The
I'm
2024
not
Lok Sabha.
denying that.
No, the other important factor is Dushyant Chautala is not going to get 6 seats this time around. I mean, everybody is acknowledging that his party will suffer the most. So where does that vote go? Does that vote go back to the BJP or does it go back
if
to
it
the
becomes
Congress?
a two-way race, if it becomes a two-way race, it becomes problematic for the BJP.
Of course.
However, if there is a counter consolidation of the Lokas, remember there are two parties. Now we are writing them off because of what happened in 2024, the JJP and the INLD, but they have interesting tie-ups. So the INLD is with the BSP, the JJP is with Mr. Ravan's party, Chandrasekhar Ravan's party, and those are interesting sideshows. We shouldn't take our eyes off those.
It's interesting. This time around, I don't know, Pallavi, how much, and Advaita Kala and Aarti Tikku, look at this. The Congress is somewhere around 11% vote share. The JJP is again similar as them, to them. Sorry. And did I press something? Yeah. And the others have a good 19% here. The INLD is at 14%. Now, if these regional parties which are fighting for survival, and if there is a shift that happens, given the fact that Mr. Hooda is leading the charge on ground and he is trying to rally up the Jats in a big way, how much is it that the Congress is hoping to gain pull away from the JJP and the INLD? Will the Jats vote en masse in favor of the Congress? Because if they go up to a 30-35% vote share, then they will have significant seat conversions. Because even in a lower vote share, they have a higher seat conversion. Pallavi, Advaita. So, and somewhere just about 2-3 months ago, the whole sentiment was soon after Lok Sabha ki Haryana is gone for the BJP. It's like they're sweeping it away. Pallavi.
Well, I would disagree with that. In the last 10 to 15 days, I would say BJP somehow seems to be getting that mojo back. And see, I found two things when I went on the ground. One is that let's not make a mistake of thinking that Nayab Singh Saini is a pushover or a walkover. He's tried to come out on his own, and his biggest problem has been the shadow of Khattar. Because I asked him in this interview to him, and he's been facing this everywhere he's been campaigning. People think that everything has been micromanaged by Khattar, choosing the tickets, and the campaign and so on and so forth. So Saini, this is Saini's moment. He has to prove, in case the BJP wins, then it is going to be, he would have to prove that it's because of me and not entirely of Khattar. That's his one challenge. Ladwa mein, there's a lot of anger against Saini, which I did notice. He's been an MP from there, and there's a reverse double engine ki sarkar kind of a narrative push there. Meva Singh, who's a sitting Congress MLA from there, and whoever I spoke to, and just to add on to what Arun was saying, bypass and the farmers issue, that was something which was very strong. And they kept on saying that Meva Singh fought for us inside the assembly, but hamari double engine ki sarkar nahi thi, so we want to have Congress at this table. That's as far as Ladwa goes. Second, if you talk about the Congress, well, it is more than a Congress election. I would say this is a Hooda election. That's how they began from. Priyanka, I think last day she did a campaign, and that too when the BJP started pushing this narrative that she's scared about the Robert Vadra factor. So she's done, I think, only 2 campaigns there. Rahul also has done very few. So both the BJP and the Congress have let their local leaders really control the campaign.
But can I ask you this, Pallavi? I mean, on the ground, I don't know if you heard this, but this whole thing that this is going to be Mr. Hooda's last election. This is his last chance to become chief minister. And obviously, he is a big Jat leader, right? Is that having resonance? Is that having play on the ground?
Yes, I did. I mean, in the Congress party, if Congress comes to power, wherever I travel, even in the non-Jat areas, they seem to be presuming that if Congress wins, it's going to be Bhupendra Hooda. But here's the problem for the Congress. So much they gave to Hooda's that 20% Dalit vote, that is something they overlooked. And very quickly, one more thing which has happened is that Kumari Shelja, they placated. You see those pictures of Rahul Gandhi, putting the hands up. And she goes to meet Sonia Gandhi, and usi din Ashok Tawar joins.
Correct.
So the Shelja camp is little upset about the fact, because they read this as a kind of message from the Congress that apart from you, we have another Dalit with us, which is Ashok Tawar. So we don't know how it's going to go on the ground.
Ashok Tawar was the one who was Rahul Gandhi's blue-eyed boy. He was made Haryana chief and all of that.
He
then he went to AAP, then he went to BJP, and he's finally made a Garwapsi to Congress.
And then there's a BSP there, there's a Azad there.
We've got JVC Sriram, Charu Pragya and Tehseen Poonawala joining us, but Advaita Kala and Aarti Tikku, quick words before we take it out of the studio.
Well, I mean, one quick thing is, of course, the Gandhis not being that involved in this particular election. I think the answer is clear. Bhupendra Singh Hooda is a man in his own right and is a leader in his own right. So I think he's kind of swallowed up that space to quite a large extent, and that he's going to be leading the fight over there. And it is about the Jat votes. I think that's extremely important, and that's the fight. And I think that's why he's got this leeway, even vis-a-vis the other people in the party, be it Randeep Singh Surjewala or Shailaja. He has been able to establish his requirements. He has been able to get the tickets for his people, because I think he's promised the Jat vote, to deliver the Jat vote, which frankly is something that the BJP has managed to hold on to. So I think it's not only his last turn as being
but would you also agree that in the Congress outside of Hooda, nobody is a pan-Haryana leader? Nobody is. They may all be tall leaders in their pockets, and they may hold sway over 10, 15, 20 seats, but across the 90 seats or majority of the 90 seats, if any one leader, it's
let's just say no one has had that opportunity also, right? So it's been a bit of a fiefdom.
Correct.
And that's part of the fight.
Well, I mean, it's quite clear that the Congress is going to make a comeback with a good number, but at the same time, I think we should not write off the BJP. BJP is going to perform pretty, I would say, given the fact that there is anti-incumbency, but at the same time, in the last, as Pallavi was also pointing out, in the last few weeks, there is some considerable improvement in how the BJP has tried to project its own narrative in Haryana. In fact, the Dalit vote bank itself, if you remember how Kumari Selja's resentment with Congress and how JP Nadda played on that I think also is a factor we should count. Also, I think the Kejriwal factor, which many had presumed is going to make a huge difference in Haryana, I think that factor is also going to help the BJP in the larger
but
picture.
Did they get into the game too late? Their dalliance with the Congress and trying to form an alliance, and Hooda saying you're not worth more than 5 seats. They put their stock in 70 seats overall. So how much of it is at stake for Arvind Kejriwal, who's come out of jail, he's on bail right that time?
That's the point. That's the point I was trying to make. The AAP has also fielded candidates across all seats. You have the JJP and the INLD with their alliance partners across across all constituencies. There are things happening in the shadows.
There are a lot of independents.
We're seeing this as only a two-way fight. Congress BJP, the fight of two, big elephants in the room. But I don't know, things can change.
One small, on a lighter note, they say that if Jammu and Kashmir sees a whole host of independents, Haryana is not so far away. In the same 90 seats, that there's a lot of drama that the independents could have. Charu Pragya, Tehseen Poonawala, JVC Sriram. Namaste. Charu Pragya, your thoughts? Inching back up, trying to catch up to the Congress in Haryana, but will that take you past the post?
Good evening, Anand, and good evening to everyone in the studio and my fellow panelists. I have two quick observations. One, there is a lot of discussion about Jat votes, and maybe that stems from this repeated conversation of caste division that Congress has started across the country. They started it long back, and we have seen results of that again and again, and election after election. The people of India are rejecting that narrative. And I happen to be a Jat from Jat land, but in Western UP, not Haryana. I will tell you one thing. Every single time this bogey of Jats being against the BJP is being floated, and every single time when the votes are cast and the election results come out, one thing is very clear. The Jats have always been with the Bharatiya Janata Party for the last 10 years, if not more. After the farmers' agitation, elections happened in Uttar Pradesh as well, and all of Western UP was swept by Bharatiya Janata Party, and the same thing has happened in 2024 elections in Haryana as well. So this bogey that people want to float around and say Jats are not happy with the Bharatiya Janata Party, I think it is entirely false. It does not stand ground at all, and the numbers speak for themselves. The other thing is that if you look at the vote share of Bharatiya Janata Party in Haryana, steadily it has increased. So before it was BJP in power in the center, it was approximately 10%. It went up to 33%, then 36%, and in the last elections, it crossed more than 45%, which means that BJP's popularity in the state continues to rise. My last quick point is that in the states where Congress does have its government, we'll talk about Karnataka, we'll talk about Himachal Pradesh, the previous government that in fact Congress had in Rajasthan, we have seen how they have performed on their manifesto promises. Or should I say,
where all of that, does that
not
matter to the
performed.
Haryana voter, or is it 10 years of Khattar? Khattar is gone,
Yeah.
there is Saini. Does that matter to me, and where am I going to vote? Do I want a non-Jat chief minister and non-Jat leadership the last 10 years? That's been good. Or under a Jat leader and Jat politics in Haryana, were my times better at that time? Tehseen Poonawalla, will you agree that this is Congress's election to lose? They could have run away. That's what the talk was, that it's a runaway victory for the Congress party. Is it still looking that way? The exit poll numbers should come through very soon. But your thoughts?
Namaskar Anand, Jai Hind, and namaskar to all my fellow panelists and to all your viewers. I am putting my money on my mouth. It is a sweep for the Congress. It is a tsunami. I have the CID numbers of the Haryana police. I also have the Satta Bazaar numbers. And I can tell you the CID numbers are better than the Satta Bazaar numbers. Haryana police itself says it's a sweep. It is a tsunami. Like I just tell you, in Gurugram, which is BJP's strongest area, BJP is doing well. And I want to take this opportunity to say something to some of these people in the Haryana administration. The way they've been biased, everyone's name has been noticed. This biased behavior that has gone on, everyone's name has been noticed. It's not that it hasn't been noticed. I've been working in Haryana non-stop. Some of these officers should remember their loyalties to the Constitution of India. Don't be biased. Serve the Constitution, serve we the people. You're not here to serve Saini or Khattar. One more point I want to make. A lot is rightly spoken about the divisions in Congress, and he's right. Advaita made a very valid point about that. But there are bigger divisions in the BJP which for some reason isn't spoken about. It's not just Khattar versus Saini, the fight. The fight is tremendous between Khattar and Saini ji. There's Anil Vijji as well. There is Captain Abhimanyu as well, and his entire, and you know, Captain Abhimanyu is the richest BJP candidate. That kind of politics in the BJP has actually gone out of control. Khattar ji and Saini ji not sharing stage. Anil Vijji saying, I am the CM candidate. It's terrible in the BJP. I'm not saying Congress did not have divisions. BJP is much worse. It just doesn't come out.
It doesn't come out. So you're saying that both parties are equally facing a lot of antar kalha, as they saw, that are partly infighting. Both sides are seeing
but you know, there's one point I just want to quickly, before we go back to JVC Sriram, I just want to make one small point here. Look, I think bread and butter issues are very important in this election. We shouldn't overlook them, right? You know, you can talk about caste combinations, this, that, the other. The BJP has also probably done its poll maths. But I think at the end of the day, has the Khattar regime performed underwhelmingly? Fundamental question. Why is he no longer on the ticket? Why was Mr. Saini brought in? What happened with the JJP? Why did the JJP suddenly want to distance itself from the BJP? Clearly, those issues, perception issues, are going to dictate the mood of the voter.
Yeah, but
right now, it's not looking good unless it becomes a messy three-way fight in which some of the smaller parties get their act together and undercut.
That's why everybody is saying that this is Congress's election to lose Haryana. It was a no-brainer that Congress was riding this wave of anti-incumbency and certain work that's been done by some of the seasoned Congress leaders on ground in Haryana. JVC Sriram, we are compelled to take a break. When we come back, we'll start with you. Stay with us here on the Battle for States.
Hello and good morning. Thank you for staying with CNN News 18. I'm Sharon Elizabeth Matthew and let's take you to Haryana where it is a big day today as all the 90 assembly seats are up for polls. Now there are major stakes here for all the major political parties. Now let's begin what is really at stake today. Today marks a crucial day for Haryana as elections are being held for the 90-member assembly. Voting for the single-phase election is underway. The counting of votes will be taken up on October 8th. The ruling BJP is eyeing a hat-trick of the wins in the state while the Congress is hoping to make a comeback after a decade. Chief Minister Nayab Singh Saini, along with Congress leader Bhupendra Singh Hooda and JJP's Dushyant Chautala, are among key candidates vying for a seat in the assembly. The election will also test the political prowess of Olympic wrestler Vinesh Fogart, who is contesting the election from the Julana seat.
Haryana Dangal, is it for change? That's the big question. The polls in Jammu and Kashmir are the first after a decade, and it's the first time that it's for assembly elections post the abrogation of 370. So it's the UT's first vote for itself. And Haryana, it's a single phase election. Jammu and Kashmir saw 3 phases. Haryana, single phase, all 90 seats going to the ballot today. Fight for survival and relevance for some of the regional parties in Haryana. The JJP, the INLD. Fight for survival and relevance even for some of the Rivayati parties in Jammu and Kashmir, be it the PDP or the National Conference. Will they still hold sway? What happens with the Congress party there? There is the argument of restoration or bringing back Article 370 and going back to those days, along with perhaps the underlying commitment to statehood. So as per the Supreme Court guidelines, they've conducted the assembly polls. Is this perhaps the next big step to statehood? All these conversations, do they resonate on ground, or are the issues on which people have voted on ground different from what we are talking here in the studios? We'll get to know all of that and get the pulse. But first, it's about Haryana. We'll get to Jammu and Kashmir in just a bit. Zakir Jacob on the wall with Haryana plotted. Is it going to be a similar scenario, or is this map going to look very different on result day?
We will know on Tuesday, 8th of October, what this map will look like. But this is how it played out in 2019. Remember, the BJP is in power for 10 years in Haryana. They had not come to power on their own in Haryana till 2014, and then 10 straight years in power. The last time in 2019, the BJP just about, I mean, it was still short of the halfway mark at 45. BJP managed 45 short of the halfway mark, but the JJP played kingmaker. Dushyant Chautala's party had 10% vote share, 10 seats, so 40 plus 10, they went past that 45. The Congress came short, it was just at 31 seats. This time around, the JJP, the INLD, the Aam Aadmi Party, which has also fielded, I think, about 70 odd seats out of the 90, will they be relegated?
It's the battle for the states, ladies and gentlemen. 6:30 on the clock. The exit pollsters have started putting out the numbers. We should have the first set of numbers in just a bit. Even as we are saying welcome back, there was excitement here in the newsroom saying, oh, one of the pollsters has already released the numbers. We'll put that out in just a bit. Just wait with us for about 30 seconds. But JVC Sriram, quick word. We'll stay focused on Haryana before we get the dominations. Where are the areas of influence of the Jats, the Dalits, the OBCs on the wall with Zaka? JVC Sriram, your take on Haryana?
Namaste, Anand and the panel. See, I want to say that we would like to live in a casteless society, but unfortunately or fortunately, the truth of the matter is caste does matter. In the last 10 years, the Jats did not have a chief minister, and they believe that as long as BJP is in power, Jat chief minister is not possible. And this is not an election for just Congress. This is an election for Bhupender Singh Hooda. The people are voting for Bhupender Singh Hooda. So Jats, probably 25% to 30% were there with the BJP in 2024 Lok Sabha election. The only time I can see Jats voting overwhelmingly in favor of BJP was the 2019 Lok Sabha election in the aftermath of the Balakot strike. And I want to say a very important thing which has not been covered here, which is the SC vote. The Dalit reserved constituencies have been 17. And what the Congress party had done is 12 of the 17 seats they have given to the dominant or the numerically higher Jatav community. On the contrary, BJP has given 8 seats to Jatav community and have picked up the smaller or the numerically smaller and probably less influential like Valmiki and other communities, and they've given 9 of those seats to them. And also the third thing which we need to look at, the Punjabi Hindu 6. The BJP has been able to give more space to them. On the contrary, the Punjabi 6 have been given more dominance by the Congress party. All in all, this is an election for the Congress to win, but this is not a natural election for the Congress to win, which is what I would like to tell somebody like Tishin Punawala, because Congress is not a natural choice. I'll just take 30 seconds. Congress is not a natural choice in Haryana. It is a default opposition choice, because every time Congress had ruled, 1972 to 77, they have been decimated to 3 seats. 82 to 87, Bhajanlal as chief minister, they'd been decimated to 5 seats. 91 to 96, what happened in 96? They were decimated to probably 9 seats. And in the 2000 election, even after being in opposition for 9 long years, they hardly could win 20 seats. And then in 2014, after 10-year rule, they just won 15 seats. But I can tell you, I can promise you, it could be an UDA government. But BJP is not going to fare as badly.
Right, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Omar Abdullah has just tweeted, said that exit polls is nothing but time pass. Real results will come on the 8th of October. It's a Saturday evening. Do the time pass with us, Mr. Omar Abdullah. Watch us here at CNN News 18.
We're all doing time pass.
We're all doing time pass. But here are the numbers.
The time passers.
Here are the numbers, ladies and gentlemen. The first numbers, the Matriz exit poll numbers have now come. Let's try and call them up here on our stage. The first Haryana are the poll of polls.
Wow.
The first set of numbers that are going to come in. We've got the numbers here within the newsroom. We should see it on the graphics also very, very soon. Now, the numbers are suggesting 59 seats for the Congress party, 21 for the BJP, nothing for the AAP, 2 or more seats for the JJP plus combined, and 4 seats for the INLD. That's the breakup. So it's running away. The Congress seems to be running away with the elections, nearing about that 60-seat number, which is a runaway win for the Congress party. So the Matriz polls right at the bottom, you see them. That are part of the mega poll of polls. The first set of numbers that have come in: 59 for Congress, 21 for the BJP, 4 for the INLD, 2 for the JJP, nothing for the AAP.
This is the median that they've taken. Actually, Matriz has given the range. The range is Congress 55 to 62, BJP 18 to 24, INLD 3 to 6, JJP 0 to 3, and others 2 to 5. So 55 to 62. If they cross 60, that would be a 2/3 majority for the Congress. And last time they had 31. So they've almost doubled.
And that then shows the trend that it's a big win and it's an election for the Congress to lose. And the
but
BJP,
the numbers are kind of not adding up if you look at them.
It's a median. These numbers are the median.
Okay,
These
so
numbers are the median. That's why they Matriz, that's what Zaka was saying. They've released a range of numbers. Rashid Kidwai is with us in the studio. There you go. This is the range. BJP is 18 to 24. Congress is 55 to 62. JJP is 0 to 3. INLD is 3 to 6. And the others are 2 to 5. So clearly, Matriz very clearly saying 46 is the halfway number. So the Congress very, very comfortably, not just a majority, but an overwhelming majority, and almost doubling up its seats, as Zaka said, compared to the last time around, the last elections. Rashid Kidwai, is it capturing the trend and the mood on ground in Haryana?
Yes, I think it is going to be a kind of, if this numbers hold on, it will be a historic win for the Congress. Coming from a state that has a very sort of, strong BJP footprint for last 2 terms, this is also a victory. If it happens, translates on 8th, this will also be a victory for Rahul Gandhi in a way. Here, his faith in a regional satrap that we Bhupinder Singh Hooda, that played off, and Rahul Gandhi himself, drew a lot of traction, and this is something which is very welcoming for the Congress party for the time to come, because next elections is Maharashtra. If Rahul Gandhi starts, getting support in northern India in Hindi-speaking areas, then that is going to be a game changer by the time 29 elections are held.
So you're saying despite Rahul not aggressively campaigning in Haryana compared to the Prime Minister and Amit Shah for the BJP, and it being largely championed by Bhupinder Hooda, the rub-offs will still be for Rahul Gandhi whenever, because the fact is that he is the face or he's the man behind in the shadows.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is that what Advaita Kala agree, disagree?
No, alternatively, I think to be fair, the elections where the Congress has done really well, Rahul Gandhi is kind of backed off from the campaigning there, no, Rashid?
I think the only contribution is holding the hand.
Like a micro management, management striking a kind of balance between regional satraps. There are a lot of the kind of issues that were raised. So there is a Rahul Gandhi stamp and look at the way nobody would have believed that it would happen in, so to say, in Modi era, that a BJP leader holds a public kind of meeting, that being Ashok Tanwar, and next time within an hour he's in the Congress camp.
So that one second, we're getting numbers from Jammu and Kashmir. We don't want to put it out. We don't want to put it out. We don't want to. One second. The Jammu and Kashmir numbers, only the Jammu region. C Voter has come out with the Jammu region numbers, so we don't want to put it out fully there because we want to wait for the entire state. But I just want to read this out for our viewers and for our panelists here. Jammu 43 out of 90 seats in the entire union territory. NC plus Congress 11 to 15. This is C Voter. BJP 27 to 31, PDP 0 to 2, and others 0 to 1. So this is in the Jammu region, which is 43 out of 90 seats.
Yeah, so we put out those numbers on Jammu and Kashmir, but the talk generally is if the BJP breaches the 30 number in Jammu region itself, then the story for Jammu and Kashmir overall could be very, very interesting, and the way it pans out. But we'll circle back to Haryana and for a bit. Tehseen Poonawala and Charu Pragya. Yes, Charu Pragya.
So I was listening to Rashid Kedwai ji, and it's amazing how he manages to bring in Rahul Gandhi in a conversation that he does not exist. The Gandhis have distanced themselves from every single election unless it suits them that particular agenda. And I think after working for one election, they need to take a break for a couple of elections. They have done it time and time again. Mr. Kedwai, I don't know what...
No, you may take your swipes at Mr. Rahul Gandhi, but you will also have to concede that what Rashid Kedwai also said, that punch was a solid one. कि 1 घंटे पहले जब यहाँ बीजेपी के लीडर के साथ अशोक तंवर और 2 घंटे बाद he was there with Rahul Gandhi and he had defected and the BJP had no clue. So you would agree that also happened?
No. That also happened, but the more important thing here is that why is it if a Congress state election has to be won, the Gandhis have to be kept away or the national leadership has to be kept away, and all their dirty linen is repeatedly washed in public for the whole world to see. And as for the numbers, it's a Congress thing. But as for the numbers, Anand, I would just quickly take a moment to remind everyone of the numbers that had come for the previous 5 state elections, especially Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, etc. We saw how all the exit polls said one thing and the end result was something else altogether.
Okay, now I'm getting more numbers. Okay. More numbers. Gulistan exit poll. This is a local Kashmir-based agency. So the Gulistan poll, they've put out for Jammu and Kashmir the entire 90 seats. BJP 28 to 30, Congress 3 to 6, National Conference 28 to 30. So you can add the 3 to 6 of the Congress to the 28 to 30 of the NC because they're fighting in alliance. PDP 5 to 7, others 8 to 16. So if this number holds, then Jammu and Kashmir is a hung assembly.
That's what Gulistan is projecting.
Yes.
And there's
45 is the halfway mark.
There is one more number which is local Dhruv research for ABP. They have put out the numbers for Haryana where they've given again Congress 57 seats, BJP 27 and the other 6. So that's their projection as far as Haryana. In Jammu and Kashmir, one thing is from the Jammu belt, the the BJP can hope for 30 seats. What happens in Kashmir belt?
Look, I mean, if these numbers hold for Kashmir, it'll be a phenomenal achievement for the Modi brand. Okay, I mean, since we are talking about now, Rahul Gandhi brand and Modi brand, then, well, you'll have to then give Mr. Modi a lot of credit for what he has been able to achieve.
Where is the Congress here in Jammu and Kashmir then?
No, 1 second. I'm just saying, unfortunately, look, while, obviously the Congress will clearly come out and say that, yes, Haryana is because of Rahul Gandhi. You know what astonishes me? That in 10 years, perhaps a little more, 10, 12 years, the Congress has not been able to move away from the Hudas. They have not been able to cultivate a new face in that state. You still have the same Selja, Kamar, the Surjewalas, the Hudas. So, the triple D, the defection, the dynasty, and the division. I mean, I'm sorry, but look, here was an opportunity to try and bring in fresh blood, people who weren't sort of tainted by the past. Do you know how many of the Congress's candidates actually have criminal records? It's 4 times more than the BJP. The BJP is in single digits, 7. All have fielded criminal candidates. Or those that have.
Every poll is saying Congress is getting 55 plus, 60
I'm not denying it.
So what are you saying? The people of Haryana want to vote for criminals?
Just 1 second. There's 10 years of anti-incumbency. Zaka, there's 10 years of anti-incumbency. I'm not suggesting for a moment that, these exit polls are wrong. Who are we to, in any case, disagree with these exit polls? I don't even know, if they're right or wrong. But anyhow, forget those. I'm only saying that it is interesting that even if these numbers hold in Haryana, you're going to have the Hudas back after 10 years, which doesn't signify.
The Congress cycle, whatever is working for them is working. Tehseen Poonawala is itching. So one exit poll where the Congress has got runaway numbers and we've not allowed Tehseen to speak so far. Yes, go ahead, Tehseen.
Two exit polls, but
no, I'm saying one state. Sorry, go ahead.
One state. But my numbers from Haryana are slightly different. I'm giving the Congress 61 and BJP 22. This is from the police Haryana CID report. 61 to the Congress, 22 to the BJP, and 7 to the others. So I'm sticking my guns. It's 58, 59
the exit
plus
pollsters are 2 or 3 of your numbers, so that plus minus 3%, 2% margin of error will be.
Yasin, what did the CID tell you in 2024 Lok Sabha? Did they also
they
tell
said,
you this?
they said 5-5 because of the Modi factor, and Modi ji is the biggest factor in the
They
Lok
told
Sabha
you
election.
that back then it was 5-5, okay.
So, and it turned out to be 5-5. Now that you can, it's subject to his calling it out because the hindsight is, there's got the luxury of hard
CID seems to be the best exit pollster in the country. Yeah?
We should have hired them.
Haryana CID seems to be the best exit pollster. But I'm also
Satta
curious.
and the CID,
I'm also curious how has Tehseen got the Haryana CID numbers? But we said
Can I tell you a
we
quick
said
story about Tehseen and the optimism that Tehseen loves to live with? So this is around 2022 Uttar Pradesh elections, and I asked Tehseen what are going to be the results in Uttar Pradesh. He outright said, Congress is sweeping this, we are forming the government. So that's Tehseen for you. The same amount of optimism carries forward election to election.
Well,
UPCID is very bad with their numbers, that's why.
Or they fed him the wrong numbers.
They got bulldozed.
Okay.
Charu is my favorite. Charu is my favorite judge, but this story happened at a private dinner, and she's giving it out.
Okay, JVC Shriram, and then we bring it back. Yeah, JVC Shriram.
See, I just want to reiterate what Rahul had said. 73 candidates backed by Bhupinder Singh Hooda have been given the tickets by the Congress party. That is the reason why I said, in fact, 9 of them from Kumar Sailaja camp, 2 of them including Randeep Surjewala's son, and rest others. This is, if somebody says Rahul Gandhi had won this election, I'm sorry, mate, you have not understood Haryana. This is an anti-incumbency vote. And
correct, and it's a pro Congress, anti-incumbency, this one Bhupinder Hooda, and 73 out of that, if they're converting, and it 73 seats decided by Bhupinder Hooda in terms of his netas, and the total score is around 60. Even if you have to discount what we've got, what Kumari Shelja or Mr. Surjewala has got, even then he's converted those numbers. And if it is Kumari Shelja and Surjewala contributing, it's all overall to the Congress party, and it's only going to help Rahul Gandhi's aura. There is no disputing that.
What is really striking?
Some may argue against it, but it's going to
What
help.
is really striking, Anand, it's a good point you're making. What is really striking is that both sides this time promise freebies. Despite the BJP promising freebies, now, if these numbers hold, the extent of anti-incumbency, this is not going to augur well for the BJP because it positions itself as a party of governance more than any others. And Nalin, I don't know what you make of this, but if you look at these numbers, 59 out of...
See, both pollsters, let's just quickly recap the Matri's numbers and the Dhruv Research numbers for Haryana. Both pollsters are saying somewhere near about 60 seats for the Congress party in Haryana. That's how it is. Matri's has given a range of 55 to 62. So Matri's has actually covered your CID numbers also, Tehseen, there.
Yeah.
So the 61 number is covered in the Matri's range. But look at Dhruv Research. Dhruv Research is also coming back and giving the same band or a similar band for the BJP, 18 to 24. And here also Dhruv Research is coming back and saying 20 seats or 21 seats if you look at the numbers. So there you go. The 90 seats, Dhruv Research, 27 seats. Congress 57 seats, and they are saying that the JJP and the INLD will not get anything. So those 4 or 2 seats which are going to JJP and INLD are swinging towards the BJP, and that's where it is. So it becomes a two-party fight. Nalin.
Raka was saying in the beginning of the program, if it becomes the two-party race, as this is showing, then that is advantage Congress.
Exactly.
Right? Because if even in the 2024 Lok Sabha election, the 10 seats that JJP had won in the last assembly election, 9 of them Congress and AAP won together, if you can convert them into assembly seats. So the two-party race, it's advantage Congress, and that's where the extra...
No, and then the story then translates on the recent past that the voter that had moved away from the Congress in between 2012 to 2014, 10 years later, those voters which moved to may not to be the BJP but to other alternatives which they thought could be, are now counter consolidating and saying, all right, the only opposition party or the single party that we can vote for and we should vote for is the Congress, and let's consolidate to Congress. So the voters now again come back
this evening by saying this becomes a two-way contest. It's going to be problematic for the BJP, and it appears that it has turned into a two-way. It's exactly what happened in the 2024 election.
So if the counter consolidation...
This is the first election, if these numbers hold, first election, I'm talking about Haryana, where, last 11 years, for the first time, Mr. Modi will not be making an impact. This is the first election. Mr. Modi's political that electioneering, that kind of heft that he carried is of very little use to the BJP. So this is also a kind of watershed moment in electoral politics since 2014.
No, but Rashid Kitwa, I know you'd like to take those pot shots at the Prime Minister, but between 2014 to 24, there have been state elections where the BJP has lost, the PM has campaigned, and the BJP has lost, and they have had electoral reversals. But you are saying that post June 4th. You are saying that June 4th was an indication. Now you are saying that Prime Minister Narendra Modi being on the ticket is on the wane. Agree, disagree, Aarti Tikku?
Well, I totally disagree because as you rightly pointed out, there have been assembly elections even before the last parliamentary elections where BJP lost, but nobody really said that it was the Prime Minister's face loss. So in the end, what really matters is that assembly elections is very different from parliamentary elections. Assembly elections have very different considerations, very different factors. The local issues, the local governance really matters, and that's what determines success or failure. But if you're going to lump every success and failure at the Prime Minister, or for that matter even Rahul Gandhi, I think that is really, that is completely...
To his credit, Mr. Modi had changed that grammar since 2014,
no, but that's
whichever
not right.
election
Okay,
This is also quickly.
Chhattisgarh, Hindi heartland state, went away when Mr. Modi was at his apex.
Correct.
Jharkhand didn't vote for the BJP. Rajasthan went away from the BJP. You had
Madhya Pradesh also
Madhya Pradesh actually that, and it was only because of reverse engineering that they came back in. And of course, in Delhi, you had a complete wipeout, sir.
Yeah.
So I don't think we can make jokes. Look, let's face it. The BJP needs to pull up its socks.
Mr. Modi not being a major factor, not about victory defeat.
Sir, we can't keep picking when he is a factor and when he is not a factor. In most assembly elections, we have seen that, look, in Bengal, could we have written him off in 2021? He brought his party for a third time.
Credit to him. The fact that BJP's
vote share went up came down to 77 when they were winning 180
let's also quickly
seats,
now, along with Haryana, talk Jammu and Kashmir. What do you think?
That's another way of looking at it. But they were predicting
Gulistan is concerned. National conference in the Kashmir Valley or the Kashmir seats of 47 seats, and then here 43 seats of Jammu. It is the BJP that is taking sway. What happens there then? What's the situation? I think we've got Najmu Saqib also joining us, so let's talk Jammu and Kashmir. Aarti Tikku?
Well, Anand, if these numbers are correct, then clearly it is hung assembly, and it also shows that the sentiment, the public sentiment in Jammu is with the BJP, not any other political party, and the public sentiment in Kashmir is with the oldest regional party of J&K, that is National Conference. But at the same time, the numbers that the Congress will get, I am not sure if we have...
no, there aren't numbers given to the Congress.
Yeah,
Congress
exactly. So if the Congress numbers are more than 10, I think of course then National Conference has a very good chance.
Congress numbers aren't more than 10. That's what we are...
Well, if the Congress actually...
3 to 6. 3 to 6, what Gulistan has come out and said, I'm just looking at the numbers as far as the projections. Najmu Saqib is also with us. The numbers say National Conference 11 to 15, BJP 27 to 31. This is the Jammu region, PDP 0 to 2. Gulistan News has projected where it is saying BJP 28 to 30 overall in Jammu and Kashmir, Congress 3 to 6, National Conference 28 to 30, PDP 5 to 7, and others are 8 to 16. Najmu Saqib, your thoughts? This is Gulistan.
I think these are very early projections. I would differ with them. I think the results are going to surprise everyone because this election we saw good participation. I wouldn't, I know for a fact that in the participation in 2014 as well as in Parliament was higher as compared to 2024 elections. So it's very difficult to predict, and the number of candidates in a lot of constituencies were very, very higher as compared to the previous elections. So this is very difficult elections to predict because this is happening after 10 long years. So no political party can with certainty say that we are winning these number of seats. But as far as we are concerned, look, we had a very tough time. Our political party, PDP, we had to face the brunt of what our party president was saying post 2019. There were three political parties that came into existence. 40 of our leaders were either coerced to leave the party or lured to join another political party. So it was very tough time for us, but we are very happy. We gave a very, very good fight. I think results will surprise everyone, and we certainly do hope that we will have a very important
what
role
is
in
your
the
what is your own estimate of the PDP's performance both in Jammu and in Kashmir?
I think in Jammu region it won't be as you rightly predicted 0 to 2. That is what I agree. But in Kashmir region, I think the numbers will be slightly better.
So you're saying you will get into double digits. You're saying you will get at least 15 seats.
Yes,
That's what you're saying.
Yes,
but
yes,
15 seats of the PDP throws them into the mix too. If it is 15 seats, but
we have one more poll.
I think PDP will not be in any position to be the kingmaker. In fact, PDP is the only political party which has lost its ground completely in Kashmir post to 2019. Their alliance with the BJP, in fact, is the reason for that rout in Kashmir. Also, Mehbooba Mufti's government in alliance with the BJP was actually seen very, very anti-Kashmir by Kashmiri people, Kashmiri Muslims, that's to say.
Right. The interesting numbers of Dainik Bhaskar that I've come across both for Haryana and for Jammu Kashmir. But we'll tell you that when we come back from a break. I'm compelled to do that. We'll come back and interesting numbers from Dainik Bhaskar when we come back here on the Mega Poll of Polls, Battle for the States. Stay with us.
At L'Oréal.
Hello and good morning. Thank you for staying with CNN News 18. I'm Sharon Elizabeth Matthew and let's take you to Haryana where it is a big day today as all the 90 assembly seats are up for polls. Now there are major stakes here for all the major political parties. Now let's begin what is really at stake today. Today marks a crucial day for Haryana as elections are being held for the 90-member assembly. Voting for the single-phase election is underway. The counting of votes will be taken up on October 8th. The ruling BJP is eyeing a hat-trick of the wins in the state while the Congress is hoping to make a comeback after a decade. Chief Minister Nayab Singh Saini along with Congress leader Bhupendra Singh Hooda and JJP's Dushyant Chautala are among key candidates vying for a seat in the assembly. The election will also test the political prowess of Olympic wrestler Vinesh Phogat, who is contesting the election from the Julana seat on a Congress ticket after her disqualification from the gold medal match for being overweight.
की सरकार हरियाणा के अंदर बन रही है
जी बिल्कुल सर, तो कितने आश्वस्त हैं? क्या कुछ लग रहा है कि तीसरी बार सरकार बन रही है क्योंकि कांग्रेस लगातार बोल रही है कि क्लीन स्वीप होने जा रहा है कांग्रेस का?
कांग्रेस की झूठ की राजनीति थी, उसको नकार दिया है। लोकसभा के अंदर उन्होंने झूठ बोला कि संविधान खत्म हो जाएगा, आरक्षण खत्म हो जाएगा। सबसे बड़ा चेहरा आरक्षण खत्म करने का अगर किसी का सामने आया है तो राहुल गांधी का आया है। अगर इनका डीएनए भी हम टेस्ट करें, जवाहरलाल नेहरू से लेकर के इंदिरा गांधी से लेकर के राजीव गांधी और अब उनका तीसरी पीढ़ी का व्यक्ति राहुल गांधी, वो भी आरक्षण को खत्म करने की बात उसने कही है। पूरे देश ने देखा है। वो अगर अंग्रेजी में वहां बोलता है तो हम हिंदी में तो बता सकते हैं। यहाँ पर वो जानते हैं, लोग हमारे भारत के सब जानते हैं कि क्या बोल रहा है क्या नहीं बोल रहा है।
और अशोक तंवर ने तो ज्वाइन कर लिया है जी कांग्रेस। वो कह रहे हैं कि अब भाजपा जो है एंटी दलित हो गई है।
देखिए 2 दिन पहले की बाइट उसकी दिखाना, और अशोक तंवर क्योंकि एक पार्टी में तो रहा नहीं है, वो तो हर जगह घूम रहा है, उसके पैर में चक्कर है और वो घूम रहा है। अच्छा है, कांग्रेस का सुपड़ा साफ हो जाएगा।
लोगों से क्या अपील करना चाहिए?
कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, हमारे मुख्यमंत्री तय हैं, हमारी मेजोरिटी आने वाली है और एकदम स्मूथ तरीके से भारतीय जनता पार्टी सरकार बनेगी।
100% तीसरी बार हरियाणा में भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार नायब सैनी जी के नेतृत्व में बनने जा रही है। 10 साल भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार ने यहाँ के लोगों को ईमानदार और पारदर्शी शासन दिया है और विकास और सुशासन देने वाली सरकार हरियाणा के लोगों ने पहली बार हरियाणा में देखी है। रोज हरियाणा में मिनिस्टर जेल जाते थे भ्रष्टाचार में, इसलिए देश में भी मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में देश के लोगों ने तीसरी बार लगातार एनडीए की सरकार बनाई है और हरियाणा में भी, क्योंकि हरियाणा के लोग
Back on the Battle for States here at CNN News 18, the mega poll of polls coverage, ladies and gentlemen, and we've just got some numbers coming through from Dainik Bhaskar. Dainik Bhaskar has put out the numbers and we will call them out. In Haryana, they say the Congress is 44 to 54. So that's the range they've given to the Congress party. The BJP is 19 to 29 and the independents and the plus the BSP, etc., INLD, BSP, JJP and all 1 to 5. That's what they've said. That's what they've said. We'll put those numbers in just a bit. That's the. But in Jammu and Kashmir, it's interesting. They say the National Conference could emerge the single largest party. So their range is 35 to 40 for the National Conference plus Congress plus. So that's the INDI alliance there. But the PDP not part of that INDI alliance. PDP is 4 to 7. BJP is 20 to 25 seats, and the others are 12 to 16. So in this case, the numbers clearly from Bhaskar show that the Congress plus combination, that is the National Conference largely plus the Congress party, will be 35 to 40 there. So believable, not believable? Aarti Tikku, Rahul Shivshankar, Nalin Mehta?
Well, Congress 35 to 40, are we talking about?
Congress
is National Conference plus
National
Congress.
Conference plus
yeah.
Congress.
Yeah, Congress plus National Conference, I think can get up to that number. But notice, they are still not halfway through.
Yeah.
So they will still need some support either from, I don't think PDP will be supporting them, but more likely Sajjad Lone People's Conference. They might seek their support and some independents also. But I also feel that the BJP is going to do much better than this, given how hard they have worked on the ground in Jammu region, and also the fact that a lot of independents have also are contesting in these elections. So we should not, ignore that.
Yeah,
factor.
Sea Voter has put out its numbers for Jammu Kashmir, and for the Jammu region of 43 seats, they are giving the BJP 27 to 31 seats. Congress plus, that is Congress plus NC is 11 to 15, PDP is 0 to 3, and the others are 0 to 1. So if the moment the BJP gets into the 30 plus range,
yes,
then the story becomes very different compared to it getting stuck in the 20-25 seats
My
range.
sense
Nalin
is,
Mehta.
yeah.
Yes, Nalin.
So I think we also have to see these numbers in the context of how different this is from the last election. In terms of that while it's okay after 10 years you're having an election, but this is a totally different election from ever before.
Yeah, because also delimitation has happened. The constituencies are broken up.
But look at the turnout numbers also, in terms of the actual campaigning on the ground and the kind of numbers that have turned up. These are unprecedented numbers of people in these regions who are voting. So while BJP is going to remain strong in its bastion areas of Jammu and so on, but in the valley you've never seen this kind of turnout ever before.
Yeah, and it's a very good point that Nalin's making, because the turnout is also reflecting a aspiration amongst a large number of Kashmiris to vote out the establishment, right? If you look at the establishment as the Abdullahs and the Muftis, because there are 3 elections that have taken place in this union territory. So Jammu has voted, if these numbers seem to be suggesting, and from anecdotal data that's coming through in the conversations that we've had, Jammu seems to be polarized towards the BJP. Then you have 2 regions in Kashmir, where in the North Kashmir, the real trouble zones, you've had a large number of independents. And I would really love to speak to our bureau chief there. Ishan, because he'll be able to tell you exactly how these independents have been able to
we will
carve
get
out
Ishan and
an
also
identity
get
for
Tejinder Sodhi
themselves.
also.
Because this is a very important election. So you might have areas of, traditional support for the NC and the PDP that they may be holding on to. But the other areas, there has been...
See, I'm not even sure how the exit pollsters will capture the mood in Kashmir Valley and also in Jammu, not just the valley but or the entire Kashmir region, because the dynamic on ground is very, very different.
We've also forgotten there are a whole bunch of new voters.
That have
not
just new voters, new candidates, fresh faces also.
Exactly. Rashid has a whole party. He's fielded 35 candidates.
You have for the first time reservations for a whole bunch of other people who never had those. So look, there's a lot that has changed.
There are a lot of additions to the voter list also. We've just got T.S. Singh Deo, the former Deputy Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, senior leader of the Congress Party, also with us. T.S. Singh Deo ji, namaste. This is Anand Narasimhan here. With me, Zaka Jacob and also Rahul Shivshankar, along with our guests in studio. Thank you for your time. You're seeing the exit poll numbers come in. It looks like a sweep for the Congress Party in Haryana. Are the numbers as per your expectations?
Haryana should go towards the Congress. I don't really have doubts about that, but one never knows. So we should wait again till the 8th, once the counting starts. And before I proceed, sorry I didn't wish you a good evening, and good evening to all the panelists and all the viewers. So let us keep our fingers crossed, whichever side we may be. Wait till the 8th. We should wait till the 8th.
Are you also wanting to see how Jammu and Kashmir polls, how it votes?
Yes, I feel Jammu section should go 1/3, 2/3. 1/3 towards the India alliance and 2/3 towards the BJP side. And again, as far as the valley is concerned, I think again that should be 1/3, 2/3. 2/3 towards the NC India alliance and 1/3 towards the others. So I don't see BJP there. So the others will be playing a major role. Let's see. Let's see.
It's a race to 46 in Jammu and Kashmir, race to 46 in Haryana. T.S. Singh Deo ji, we are joined by another former Deputy Chief Minister, that is Nirmal Singh ji, for the erstwhile state of Jammu Kashmir, Ladakh, his former Deputy Chief Minister. Nirmal Singh ji, namaste. Your thoughts on the exit polls? BJP को कह रहे हैं कि 25 से 35 के बीच में या 25 से 32 के बीच में BJP आकर रुक जाएगी. National Conference emerging as a very, very strong entity among the exit pollsters.
Actually, exit polls, they are exit polls. That's the fact. But definitely, we will improve our tally, and I am sure that ultimately we are going to form the government, because you will see that a large number of people, they have been elected, they shall be elected as independents, and NC, as they are claiming, even exit poll they are telling, they won't reach that figure which they are telling. But BJP will definitely cross 35. We are very much sure. And other people, even in Jammu also, we have a very strong hold. Some of the people, they have stood independently, and they are going to win the elections.
But do you believe you will be the single largest party? Because the governor will invite the single largest party first. So between the BJP and the National Conference seems to be the competition right now, Nirmal Singh ji. In Haryana, it seems to be a one-way race for the Congress as per the pollsters. They are getting at least 2/3, 60 seats minimum. Ji.
So far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned, we shall be the single largest party, and we are sure that LG will definitely invite BJP to form the government.
T.S. Singh Deo ji, what is the biggest factor, anti-incumbency or perhaps what Mr. Bhupinder Hooda has been able to do in Haryana, that the numbers look like they are as of now?
Surprisingly, there's been anger, a sense of anger in Haryana. Usually voters don't appear to be angry. They could be dissatisfied, they could be unhappy, but there seems to be a sense of anger, whether that has been whipped up or it has developed due to the farmers' agitation or Agniveer or other issues. It's difficult to gauge. I haven't seen anger usually amongst voters. So that seems to be tilting scales in favor of the Congress.
You think the wrestlers is a factor? The wrestlers protest and Vinesh Fogart is a factor?
Emotive factor. But I think I would rate the farmers factor first, then probably things like unemployment and Agniveer, and then issues like the wrestlers.
Okay, Amit Malviya is also with us. Amit Malviya, namaste. We've got T.S. Singh Dev, former Deputy Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh with us. Nirmal Singh Ji, former Deputy Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir with us. Rahul Shivshankar and Zakir Jacob with me on the broadcast. Your thoughts on the exit poll numbers so far, Amit Malviya?
Well, Anand, I won't quibble with the numbers, but I will probably put across my perspective. Let me first take up Jammu and Kashmir. I'm quite certain that the BJP will emerge as the single largest party and we will be in a position to form government. I cannot predict the contours of the government at the moment because we will know the details only on the 8th, but we are very well positioned. And unlike what the exit pollsters are saying, we've got to understand that the Jammu region is completely aligned with the BJP. In Kashmir, where the BJP fielded about 19 candidates, there were a slew of other parties, including the traditional ones like the National Conference, PDP, Rashid Engineers Party, Sajjad Lone, Altaf Bukhari, and several independents. Now, the participation of these players in this election was debated quite actively in the run-up to the election, and you have to understand that Kashmir has gone through a cathartic process in the last 5 years. We have ensured that there is election at the grassroots, at the panchayat level. So a lot of new leadership has emerged in Kashmir, and that is why you see a lot of
the local pollsters, it's not even like Gulistan is also looking at National Conference and Congress Plus as the single largest party.
Now participating in the democratic process.
The local pollsters are also calling the National Conference and the Congress Plus, so that National Conference and Congress alliance as the single largest party in Jammu and Kashmir.
So let me just come to that, Anand. You have to understand that the Kashmir sentiment today, on the face of it, obviously seems as somebody wanting to toe the line of the last 3 decades. But underneath it is a big polity that has embraced the change of the last 5 years. So a lot of very vocal people in the valley perhaps may give an impression to exit pollsters that they voted a certain way, but the large majority is most likely to vote for peace and development. And you can also see this in terms of generational shift. The older ones, perhaps who are about 55, 60 and above, who have seen the last 3 decades of a very tumultuous period, may think of Kashmir very, very differently. But the younger generation today wants jobs, wants opportunities, wants things to do, and they are likely to vote very differently. Also, amongst those who were earlier seen as separatists and have now participated wholeheartedly in the election process, let's not forget a lot of them are feeling used by the traditional parties like the NC and the PDP, they are today singing a very different tune.
So you believe that these results could
perhaps even 10 years ago?
These results could be a little different. We're also joined by the MOS Power and also MP of the BJP from Faridabad, Krishanpal Gujar ji. Krishanpal ji, namaste. T.S. Singh Dev जी हमारे साथ हैं, अमित मालविया हमारे साथ हैं, निर्मल सिंह जी भी हमारे साथ हैं. मैं आपसे जानना चाहता हूं, हरियाणा के नंबर जो आ रहे हैं उसमें कांग्रेस की रनअवे जीत दिखाई दे रही है. एवरेज का बताया जा रहा है 90 में से 60 सीटें कांग्रेस की हैं. एग्जिट पोल यही बता रहे हैं.
जी, मैं एग्जिट पोल हमेशा सही होते हैं, ये भी ठीक नहीं है. मैं एग्जिट पोल पर कोई पर्सन चिन्ह नहीं लगा रहा हूँ, लेकिन अभी पीछे ही अभी आपने छत्तीसगढ़ का चुनाव देखा होगा, सारे एग्जिट पोल कांग्रेस को जिता रहे थे, कोई बीजेपी को जिता ही नहीं रहा था. लेकिन रिजल्ट आया तो अब तक का सबसे अच्छा परिणाम भारतीय जनता पार्टी के पक्ष में छत्तीसगढ़ का आया. तो एग्जिट पोल हमेशा ही एक्यूरेट होंगे, सही होंगे, ये संभव नहीं है. कई बार उनके विपरीत भी परिणाम आए हैं और छत्तीसगढ़ उसका उदाहरण है.
टी.एस. सिंह देव जी हैं, वो मुस्कुरा रहे हैं, मंद एक उनकी मुस्कान हमने देखी. वो कह रहे हैं छत्तीसगढ़ जैसा आपको लग रहा है हरियाणा में होगा. टी.एस. सिंह देव जी जैसे
जी अंतर है.
तो जानते हैं अच्छी तरह छत्तीसगढ़ के रिजल्ट के बारे में.
हरियाणा और छत्तीसगढ़ में, छत्तीसगढ़ गवर्नमेंट के खिलाफ एंटी इनकम्बेंसी की गुंजाइश थी, वो शायद हम भांप नहीं पाए. और वर्तमान में करंट बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट के खिलाफ एंटी इनकम्बेंसी की संभावना है। तो इट इज डिफिकल्ट। मैं भी मंत्री जी से, माननीय मंत्री जी से सहमत हूं कि एक्चुअली प्रिडिक्ट कर पाना बहुत डिफिकल्ट होता है। वोटर आजकल उनके मन को जान पाना बहुत बहुत मुश्किल होता है।
पर मंत्री जी, हरियाणा सीआईडी के कुछ आंकड़े तहसीन पुनावाला थोड़ी देर पहले बता रहे थे कि लोकल सीआईडी भी 60 सीटें कांग्रेस को दे रही है। ये कहां तक सही है?
देखिए, मैं कभी सीआईडी आईबी की रिपोर्ट से इत्फाक नहीं रखता, क्योंकि मैं भी कॉलेज लगभग 78 से मैंने कॉलेज से चुनाव लड़ना शुरू किया था। मैं जोशी नहीं हूँ, लेकिन राजनीतिक अनुभव बहुत है। फरीदाबाद लोकसभा के बारे में भी सीआईडी और आईबी की रिपोर्ट कुछ भिन्न थी। जब मुझे मिलते तो मैं कहता था इतनी इस सीट पर इतनी वोटों से मैं लीड करूंगा
जी
विधानसभा में, और इतनी पर मैं इतनी वोटों से पीछे रहूंगा। आज भी सीआईडी है, आईबी है। जो मैंने कहा वो सच निकला। तो हम और टीएस सिंहदेव जी जमीन पर काम करने वाले लोग हैं। हमको जमीन की हकीकत
तो
मालूम होता है कि मतदाता
क्योंकि इस बार कहा जा रहा है कि हरियाणा में जाट समुदाय का जो आक्रोश है वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा है, चाहे वो किसान के आंदोलन की वजह से हो या हमारे पहलवानों के साथ क्या हुआ उसकी वजह से हो। क्या ये सच है? क्या ये ग्राउंड पे दिख रहा था आपको भी?
देखिए, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के बारे में कभी भी जात के नाम पर, भाषा के नाम पर, क्षेत्रवाद के नाम पर ना कभी राजनीति होती है, ना इस बात से कोई विरोध करता है। आप जाट कहते हैं, वो किसान का नाम लेके कहते हैं किसान नाराज है। ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है। पहली बार जब 66 से लेके 2014 तक अधिकतर कांग्रेस की सरकार हरियाणा में रही।
भारतीय गुज्जर जी, मैं आपसे एक सवाल पूछ रहा हूँ, एक सेकंड आप मेरी एक थोड़ी सी सुन लीजिए, क्योंकि ये
मेरी बात पूरी हो जाए तो फिर आप पूछना चाहते हैं।
हाँ जी बोलिए।
मेरी बात पूरी हो जाए तो
मंत्री जी,
जी बोलिए।
तो
2016
उन्होंने हरियाणा में हमेशा, मैं ये कह रहा हूँ, हमेशा भेदभाव और क्षेत्रवाद हावी रहा है हरियाणा की राजनीति पर। पहली बार पिछले 10 सालों में हरियाणा के लोगों को रोजगार में भी और विकास में भी एक सबका साथ और सबका विकास, हरियाणा एक, हरियाणवी एक, ये लोगों ने हरियाणा की भूमि पर होते हुए देखा है, न्याय होते हुए देखा है। तो इसलिए एक ईमानदार और पारदर्शी सरकार बहुत लंबे अरसे के बाद हरियाणा के लोगों ने देखी है, इसलिए अंतर स्पष्ट है।
गुज्जर साहब
को लेके आज भी
देखिए, भूपिंदर हुडा साहब कह रहे हैं कि
इनकम्बेंसी नहीं है बीजेपी के खिलाफ, प्रो इनकम्बेंसी है।
नहीं तो अगर ऐसा होता है तो फिर खट्टर साहब को परे क्यों कर दिया गया?
उनकी जगह नायब सिंह सैनी साहब को क्यों लाए? वो परिवर्तन क्यों हुआ मंत्रिमंडल में?
नहीं, देखिए, परिवर्तन तो बहुत स्टेटों में होते हैं और उसको इस बात से बिल्कुल उसकी तुलना नहीं करनी चाहिए कि चुनाव के लिए उनको बदला गया था।
नहीं, मगर फिर हम इसको किस रूप से देखें? फिर
रहते हैं।
ये तो सब तब होता है जब कोई नई सरकार आती है, तब यूजुअली जहां पर पहले हुआ था उत्तराखंड में 3 या 4 चीफ मिनिस्टर्स बीजेपी ने बदलने पड़े और उन्होंने बाद में आके ये भी कहा कि एंटी इनकम्बेंसी थी इसीलिए हमने ये किया। आप टिकट भी तो नहीं देते हैं। अमित शाह जी फ्रॉम टाइम टू टाइम 1/3 टिकट डिनाई करते हैं इनकम्बेंट को टू ओवरकम एंटी इनकम्बेंसी। तो इस तरीके के ये जो फेरबदल हुआ, जो इनको साइड पे किया गया, ये तो इसीलिए हुआ।
मैं आपकी इस बात से इत्तेफाक नहीं रखता। ये टिकट काटते नहीं हैं, नए लोगों को मौका देते हैं और हमारे यहाँ हमेशा नए लोगों को मौका दिया जाता है। तो टिकट काटने का सवाल नहीं है, नए लोगों को मौका देना है। और हमारे पास हर क्षेत्र में एक से एक अच्छे प्रामाणिक कार्यकर्ता,
मैं जरा
जिताऊ उम्मीदवार पार्टी के पास बहुत होते हैं, तो नए लोगों को मौका देते हैं, किसी का टिकट काटते नहीं।
बट किशन पाल जी, मैं बस टीएस सिंह देव जी से पूछना चाहूंगा, आर यू थिंकिंग ऑफ द सेम थिंग? इज द बीजेपी साउंडिंग एग्जैक्टली लाइक द कांग्रेस वाज साउंडिंग इन छत्तीसगढ़? कि जो एंटी इनकम्बेंसी को डिनाई, इस फैक्टर को डिनायल मोड पे, ऐसा तो नहीं?
हाँ, टू दैट एक्सटेंट इफ यू आर डिनाइंग एंटी इनकम्बेंसी, Chhattisgarh, Congress should have factored in anti-incumbency.
पर हरियाणा में आपको क्या लगता है, एंटी इनकम्बेंसी है या फिर देयर आर अदर रीजंस व्हाई द कांग्रेस इज लुकिंग सो सॉलिड इन द एग्जिट पोल नंबर्स, मिस्टर तेज सिंह देव?
पुराने जो चीफ मिनिस्टर साहब थे, खट्टर साहब थे, उनके बारे में मैंने कोई भ्रष्टाचार की बातें, अन्य बातें, ये बातें नहीं सुनी, लेकिन ये सुना कि थोड़ा अप्रोचेबल नहीं थे। एक रेपो, जो 1-to-1 रेपो की कमी होती है, ये कमी की बात मैंने सुनी, और माहौल उसके आसपास बनने लगा। बहुत ज्यादा काम होते हुए नहीं दिख रहे थे। नए जो उनने स्कीम्स कुछ इंट्रोड्यूस किए, आईटी इत्यादि के ये सब काम किए, उससे नाराजगी रही। जॉब्स दिख नहीं रहे थे। दैट सेंस ऑफ डिससेटिस्फैक्शन, वो बिल्डअप होता है, काम नहीं मिल रहा, काम नहीं मिल रहा। एक ने बोला, दो ने बोला, 100 ने बोला, 1000 ने बोला। ये बात सही हो गलत हो, प्रचार बन जाता है तो फिर माहौल बन जाता है। तो मेरे ख्याल से जो पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री जी थे, वो इन फैक्टर्स को मैनेज नहीं कर पाए, और किसान आंदोलन ने एक बड़ी बात की। उनने कड़ाई से उसको रोकने की कोशिश की, जो भी कारण रहा होगा, प्रशासनिक कारण रहे होंगे। सर,
यू नो, प्राइम मिनिस्टर, यस, गुज्जर जी, प्रधानमंत्री जी ने दामाद और दलाल पर काफी जोर दिया, और दामाद पे तो शिकंजा टाइट हुआ ही नहीं। इतने साल हो गए, 10 साल हो गए, आपने कमेटी भी बिठवाई, कोर्ट्स ने बिठवाई, उससे भी कुछ नहीं हुआ। एंड में जाके सीबीआई ने कहा कि भाई हमारे पास तो इनके खिलाफ कोई प्रूफ ही नहीं है। और जहां रही दलाल की बात, तो अगर कांग्रेस वापस आती है और हुड्डा जी के नेतृत्व में वो सरकार बनती है, तो आप क्या कहेंगे कि मोदी जी का दामाद और दलाल पर जो जोर था वो गलत था क्या?
देखिए, ऐसा कहना ठीक नहीं होगा। आप देखेंगे, मोदी जी ने जो कहा वो हरियाणा के 10 साल पहले के परिप्रेक्ष्य में कहा। आप देखेंगे आज भी वो लोग भ्रष्टाचार के केसों में जमानत पर बाहर आए हुए हैं, जमानत पर हैं, तो उनको किसी ने बरी नहीं किया आज तक। वो केसों से बरी नहीं हुए, पाक साफ नहीं हुए, वो जमानत पर हैं। तो इसलिए क्या फैसला आएगा ये तो भविष्य के गर्भ में है, लेकिन आज भी वो बेल पर हैं। तो इसलिए मोदी जी ने गलत नहीं कहा। 10 साल पहले हरियाणा में क्या था? भ्रष्टाचार में हरियाणा के मंत्री जेल जा रहे थे, केंद्र के मंत्री जेल जा रहे थे। आज अधिकतर देखेंगे उन नेताओं में से सब भ्रष्टाचार के केसों में आज जमानत पर हैं। तो इसलिए उनसे चुनाव जीतना हारना अलग चीज़ है, लेकिन 10 साल बीजेपी की हरियाणा में सरकार रही, मनोहर जी के नेतृत्व में, आज नायब जी के नेतृत्व में
जी।
कोई भी विरोधी से विरोधी भी मनोहर लाल जी पर कोई भ्रष्टाचार का आरोप नहीं लगा पाया
जी। ये बात
तो
अभी
स्पष्ट अंतर है
जी। टीएस सिंह देव जी ने भी ये बात की। कृष्णपाल गुर्जर जी, मैं जानता हूं आपके पास समय अल्प है, आपका आंकड़ा क्या है? आपने कहा सीआईडी आईबी अलग आंकड़े बताती है, मेरे आंकड़े अलग होते हैं, तो मैं आपसे जानना चाहता हूं आपका प्रोजेक्शन क्या है हरियाणा के लिए?
देखिए, मैं कोई भविष्यकर्ता नहीं हूं, लेकिन राजनीतिक अनुभव के आधार पर मैं जब खुद लोकसभा का चुनाव लड़ रहा था तो बहुत लोग तरह तरह के, आप देखेंगे यूट्यूबर, ये क्या क्या कह रहे थे, लेकिन मैंने तब भी आत्मविश्वास के, अहंकार से नहीं, क्योंकि मेरे को इतना अनुभव है। टीएस सिंह देव जी भी एक अनुभवी नेता हैं, एक बहुत अच्छे नेता हैं, बड़े नेता हैं, उनको भी बहुत लंबा अनुभव है राजनीति का। लेकिन मैंने कॉलेज छात्र जीवन से राजनीति की थी, और मैं जीवन में एक चुनाव हारा हूँ, मैं लगातार सारे चुनाव जीता हूँ
जी।
तो मैं अनुभव के आधार पर कह सकता हूँ कि बिल्कुल तीसरी बार नायब सैनी जी के नेतृत्व में मुझको स्पष्ट बहुमत की सरकार हरियाणा में बीजेपी की बनती हुई
बहुत बड़ी बात कह रहे हैं आप कृष्णपाल गुर्जर जी, क्योंकि पूरा चुनाव का जो एग्जिट पोल का जो लहर है उसके विपरीत आपने बात कही है। मेरा आपसे इतना ही आग्रह है, अगर आपकी भविष्यवाणी या आपका प्रेडिक्शन सही हुआ, आपका आत्मविश्वास सामने आया, तो फिर 8 तारीख को आपसे हमारी बात तो होगी, इतना मैं आपसे वादा लेता हूँ।
मैं मिठाई खिलाऊंगा आपको
जी,
मैं आपको मिठाई खिलाऊंगा
जी। थैंक यू फॉर स्पीकिंग विद अस कृष्णपाल गुर्जर जी। टीएस सिंह देव जी, सो कॉन्फिडेंस देयर बीइंग एस्पाउस्ड, is it in the face of adversity? Your final thoughts on both Haryana and Jammu and Kashmir, T.S. Singh Dev ji.
Haryana Congress, Jammu and Kashmir, it will be a coalition ahead of the pre-poll coalitions.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, T.S. Singh Deju. Thank you very much. Amit Malviya is still with us, but quickly, ladies and gentlemen, taking you through the poll of polls for Jammu and Kashmir. Let's focus on Jammu and Kashmir because this then makes it very, very interesting. Let's just bring it in closer and look at the numbers. So the Congress Plus, that is the National Conference for and Congress, are emerging the single largest party or the grouping in Jammu and Kashmir. C voter is saying 40 to 48 seats for them. Dainik Bhaskar is saying 35 to 40 seats. Gulistan News, the local news channel there, they are saying 31 to 36 seats. People's Pulse is saying 46 to 50 seats. Now the BJP is the second largest party or grouping there, 27 to 32, 20 to 25, 28 to 30 and 23 to 27. There is a huge set of numbers that Dainik Bhaskar is giving to the others, 22 to 26 seats there. So they are saying that the BJP could fall behind the others grouping or the independents and the others in the overall count. But nobody is giving the BJP to be the single largest party, and that's critical. If the governor has to call for a party, it's got to be the single largest party which will be first invited. So if the LG has to call, Amit Malviya, if you're still with us, would you agree with these numbers? And Tausif Shah of the PDP also with us, but yes, Amit Malviya. Nirmal Singh ji is also with us. Thank you for your patience, gentlemen. Yes, Amit Malviya.
Anand, there's nothing to agree or disagree with these numbers because these are exit polls, and I don't want to quibble with these numbers, but like I said, the BJP will emerge as the single largest party and it will be in a position to form government in Jammu and Kashmir. And like I said, many pollsters may find it extremely difficult to predict how people have voted for various reasons. You have to keep in mind the context of Kashmir, the last 5 years, the years before that, the number of participants in this election. The biggest positive that you can take away from this election is that parties who were otherwise seen as separatists have fully participated in this election. This is a complete reversal of what we saw post 1987, and I think that is the biggest success of this election. The voter turnout, we saw it during the Lok Sabha election, we saw it again during the assembly election. So there are large number of positives from this election, and I am absolutely confident that the BJP will be in a position to form government in Jammu and Kashmir, and we will represent the aspirations of every segment of the union territory.
Tausif Shah, would you agree with Amit Malviya or disagree? The exit pollsters also not giving the PDP too much of a chance. Only one or two of them are giving you even double digits. Ji. You're on mute, Tausif Shah. Haji, now I can.
I'm sorry for being on the mute.
Go ahead.
Very good evening to all the panelists and the anchors too. So I would like to put it like this: that I fail to understand what makes BJP think that they're going to be the single largest party when we have seen that there are there are a number of factors which we have to discuss right now. Is that if we can see the number of unemployment ratio here that has changed since 2019. We had the number of unemployment ratio was approximately 24%, and that has shot up to 47%. So that would be the one big reason that BJP would fall behind. The second big reason would be that they have stopped the Darbar move, where in the winter times Srinagar people used to financially help Jammu people when they shifted their base to Jammu, and naturally there was a financial transactions going on there in Jammu, and likewise happened in Srinagar when Darbar used to come back to Jammu. So this is the second factor. Now the third factor is that they have started once again started to divide the people on the communal lines. Now there would be the fourth point that BJP has an edge that they have nominated 5 MLAs, which they are going to give, like they have in the Puducherry Assembly, they are going to give them full powers as the elected ones. So this means they might be counting on this 5 because we are sure that they are to be nominated by the Lieutenant Governor, or they can directly come from the central government of India. So there's nothing that what we were demanding was a legal demand that let first the government be formed, and then after that you can nominate your MLAs, whatever you have to nominate. You have to nominate from Gujar Bakarwal, you have to nominate from Pandits, you have to nominate from Sikhs or minorities or majorities, whatever. So, but now the main thing is that they would be nominating these all the 5 MLAs right before the government formation. So it's natural that they're going to take its credit. They are going to take its credit. They are there.
Right.
These 5 MLAs would be in the
No, one second. I don't think it's going to boil down to these 5 MLAs. I think the people will give a
The numbers
the numbers at least don't bear out the fact that the fate of Jammu and Kashmir for the next 5 years is going to depend on these 5 MLAs. Can we go back to the poll of polls number, the aggregate of poll of poll numbers for Jammu and Kashmir? We have 4 exit polls that are out. There you go. 4 exit polls that are out of which 2 are giving a clear majority to the Congress-NC alliance. Now, they are a pre-poll alliance, so which means the governor is duty bound to call the pre-poll alliance.
Yeah.
It's not a post-poll arrangement, it's a pre-poll alliance. So, if those numbers of C-voter or people's pulse hold, naturally the governor has to invite them because they would have crossed the halfway mark of 45. If the other numbers, which is Dainik Bhaskar and Gulistan News, which means it's a hung assembly, even then, the governor is duty-bound constitutionally to invite Congress-NC because they are the single largest pre-poll alliance. So 35 to 40, 31 to 36 is what they're giving to the single largest pre-poll alliance of Congress and NC. So 2 polls suggesting it will be a hung assembly and 2 polls suggesting that Congress-NC would go past the halfway mark. None of these polls are saying that it will depend on the 5 nominated MLAs. So that's the limited point to Mr. Tausif Shah.
Nirmal Singh ji, how would you want to respond?
Nirmal Singh.
He's there, yeah. Then we come to the studio. Yes, Nirmal ji.
First of all, let's wait for what results are there. But I'm sure that BJP is going to win more than 35 seats, and combining other people, independents and others will going to touch across the magic number. So far as people are concerned, in Kashmir, we have seen that 2 former chief ministers have been defeated by the people there, because people, they are for peace, they are for development, and moreover, they don't believe in the you can say agenda which was being propagated by these parties, Kashmir-centric parties, because they brought bloodshed to Kashmir. Now people, they are having peace, and we have seen that how people, they were so much enthusiastic to vote, and this campaign was very peaceful. So this result will throw a very you can say a different verdict, which we are not able to predict as of now. Even these people, the people who have gone for this pre-poll, you can say exit poll or other thing, we are very sure that we are going to form the government.
Right. Nirmal Singh ji, thank you for speaking with us. We are joined by Syed Aga Ruhollah, the MP from the National Conference. Namaste. This is Anand Harsman here. With me, we've got Zakir Jacob and Rahul Shiv Shankar. And the exit pollsters, right now the trends, the poll of polls show that the National Conference Congress combined is going to emerge as the single largest pre-poll grouping. Some have given you numbers which also put you in firm place with majority numbers. C-voter says you may get up to 48 seats in the top range. And the People's Pulse say you may get 46 to 50 seats. So that's more than the halfway mark. How would you see these numbers? Although the BJP believes they will emerge as the single largest party. Your thoughts?
Well, though these are exit polls, these are not actual results. But as if they stand, I think they are in line with what we could gather and what we could sense from the ground. I campaigned throughout the valley, and the atmosphere, the reaction, the participation of the people, and the reason for the participation of the people were all, tremendously, in line with what exit polls suggest to, give up as a result. So I don't see anything dramatic happening other than this, though I'll be very careful that these are exit polls. These are not actual results. But as you asked the questions, I would say that these are in line with the atmosphere, the involvement and the reason for involvement of the people in the election, their participation. This was, reflected on the ground.
One interesting scenario, if it is that the voter votes differently in Jammu region and voter votes differently in the Kashmir region, and 2 parties have a position where they have anywhere between 25 to 35 seats each. what happens then? And one of them is National Conference, the other one is the BJP.
Well, that is a hypothetical question, but I would give
One of the
one
pollsters has shown a
category.
trend like that, so that's why I'm asking
Yeah,
you.
well,
Dainik Bhaskar has shown something similar.
I would want to give one categoric answer at this moment, and that is under no conditions, under no circumstances, National Conference is going to, make an alliance with BJP. That's a categoric answer, and the option of an alliance with BJP is closed. Other than that, let's wait for the actual results to come out.
Mr. Rula, through the campaign, I think it was the fag end of the campaign before the last phase, your leader, Mr. Omar Abdullah, publicly said that he was concerned about why Congress and Mr. Rahul Gandhi was not campaigning enough in Jammu. Congress, of course, is fighting a bulk of its seats in Jammu. Do you think this is a cause for concern? Again, I don't have the breakup of the individual division between NC and Congress, what the exit pollsters are saying. But would this be a concern to you that Congress was not able to get as much of a strike rate as in Jammu as you folks are being projected to get in Kashmir?
As an individual, yes, I also think that Congress should have campaigned more in both in Jammu and Kashmir regions. I think that they concentrated most of their campaigning in Haryana for the reasons best known to them. But as the actual results come closer, the things that we get to hear is that National Conference along with Congress is going to do good, is going to do better. In terms of a strike rate, yes, there are certain questions that I would want to ask of Congress throughout the nation, not only in Kashmir. They tend to, pitch for the seats where they are not sure of winning, while as the coalition partners would otherwise be in a better position to win those seats. I can, quote an example of a couple of seats in Kashmir Valley itself, where Congress pitched very hard, and as a result of that, I individually thought that would harm the prospectus of both National Conference and Congress. So strategically, they could do better. It's a friendly advice to them. They could do better. This reflects in many elections in other parts of the country. They should, they should accept the reality of being a helper or to play second fiddle at many places where they want to believe that they are in the better position, or they should be the leaders of the team.
Mr. Rula, this is Rahul here. Very quickly to you, if these numbers hold, you're a little short, obviously, as a alliance of the magic mark. Would you do business with those that sometimes people from your party have come out and categorized as BJP's B team in Kashmir?
I hope the results come out in a manner that we do not need anyone's help. We do not need to, take in the people who have otherwise betrayed the society over the last 5-6 years. There's a sense of betrayal, not only with the center, but with the people, those who, at multiple levels, played in favor of BJP. And
can you elaborate on that? What are these betrayals? Could you explain?
One of the most important betrayal is that BJP wanted to have a divide in Kashmir. They wanted to, consolidate the votes in Jammu communally. You would understand that better than many other fellow discussants. And BJP wanted to divide the vote in Kashmir. And to inflict that divide, they had multiple allies and proxies to inflict that divide. So to help that cause is a betrayal of sorts, not a betrayal of sorts, it's a betrayal of great gravity. So people do understand their polity and politics, where their loyalty belonged to. And that loyalty is, something which was damaging to the prospects of.
No, so therefore, I'm asking, Mr. Rula, let's assume, of course, with the hindsight of what happened in 2024 with the exit polls completely imploding in the manner in which they did, let's for a moment at least consider that the direction is right, and maybe you do fall short as a pre-poll alliance. Given this deep distrust of these elements that betrayed the cause, so to speak, how will you do business with them? How will you form that government?
It's a hypothetical question. Let's wait for the actual results to come. And I hope that the people have voted in a manner where we do not need help of such people. Those allies and proxies of BJP I hope are defeated. They do not get seats or
Mr.
mandate from the
Rulla,
people.
would you
of Jammu and Kashmir.
categorize the PDP also as a B team of BJP? And if the situation arises, I know
Well,
hypothetical.
I would no, I would not.
You would not.
I would not categorize them as B team, A team, or BJP. But they had their own, shortcomings and faults. But they can be overlooked.
But they can be overlooked. So which means if the situation arises that you need PDP's 3 or 5 or 7 MLAs to form a government, then you're open to that.
So the Gupkar comes back. The Gupkar comes back.
The Gupkar comes.
We hope that's your terminology and tagging Gupkar or whatever you want to name that. But we have a cause at hand, and whosoever wants to, struggle for that cause is welcome. Both in terms of government formation or otherwise. But we hope that the mandate is in favor of the alliance, that is National Conference and Congress.
Well, the ballot is cast. The exit pollsters are predicting that the National Conference Congress combined should emerge as a single largest grouping, pre-poll grouping post the exit. We'll know on result day on the 8th of October. All the best, Syed Agharullah. Thank you for your time and thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
It's interesting, he said straight off the bat, he said there's no question of joining hands with the BJP. That question was not even asked, but he said that straight off the bat. But in the last answer, he was like, PDP, cause, we don't know.
So the grouping will be saying, no, me and my brother against my cousin, me and my cousin against a stranger.
Can I say something? Just one thing on a totally facetious note. That pre-poll alliance, if it does get, let's say, 40, they'll actually only be getting 39 because Mr. Omar Abdullah is standing from two constituencies.
Sure. Yeah.
So you have to also factor that in.
We'll have to see what happens there.
No, so the reason I'm bringing this up is because there's a degree of uncertainty.
We should start a BTS on the live stream so that we can carry on this conversation. But right now we're going to take a break. Stay with us. But in Jammu and Kashmir, it's interesting. They say the National Conference could emerge the single largest party. So their range is 35 to 40 for the National Conference plus Congress plus. So that's the INDA alliance there. But the PDP not part of that INDA alliance. PDP is 4 to 7. BJP is 20 to 25 seats and the others are 12 to 16. So in this case, the numbers clearly from Bhaskar show that the Congress plus combination, that is the National Conference largely plus the Congress party, will be 35 to 40 there. So, believable, not believable? Aarti Tikku, Rahul Shivshankar, Nalin Mehta?
Well, Congress 35 to 40, are we talking about?
Congress is National Conference plus
National
Congress.
Conference plus
yeah.
Congress.
Yeah, Congress plus National Conference, I think can get up to that number. But notice, they are still not halfway through.
Yeah.
So, they will still need some support either from I don't think PDP will be supporting them, but more likely Sajjad Lone, People's Conference, they might seek their support and some independents also. But I also feel that the BJP is going to do much better than this, given how hard they have worked on the ground in Jammu region, and also the fact that a lot of independents have also are contesting in these elections, so we should not, ignore that.
Yeah,
factor.
Sea Voter has put out its numbers for Jammu Kashmir, and for the Jammu region of 43 seats, they are giving the BJP 27 to 31 seats. Congress plus, that is Congress plus NC is 11 to 15, PDP is 0 to 3, and the others are 0 to 1. So, if the moment the BJP gets into the 30 plus range,
yes,
then the story becomes very different compared to it getting stuck in the 20-25 seats
my
range.
sense is, yeah.
Yes, Nal.
So I think we also have to see these numbers in the context of how different this is from the last election. In terms of that while it's okay after 10 years you're having an election, but this is a totally different election than ever before.
Yeah, because also delimitation has happened. The constituencies are broken up.
But look at the turnout numbers also, in terms of the actual campaigning on the ground and the kind of numbers that have turned up. These are unprecedented numbers of people in these regions who are voting. So while BJP is going to remain strong in its bastion areas of Jammu and so on, but in the valley you've never seen this kind of turnout ever before.
Yeah, and it's a very good point that Nalin's making, because the turnout is also reflecting a aspiration amongst a large number of Kashmiris to vote out the establishment, right? If you look at the establishment as the Abdullahs and the Muftis, because there are 3 elections that have taken place in this, union territory. So Jammu has voted, if these numbers seem to be suggesting, and from anecdotal data that's coming through and the conversations that we've had, Jammu seems to be polarized towards the BJP. Then you have 2 regions in Kashmir, where in the North Kashmir, the real trouble zones, you've had a large number of independents. And I would really love to speak to, our bureau chief there, Ishan, because he'll be able to tell you exactly how these independents have been able to carve out
Ishan
an identity for themselves. Because this is a very important election. So you might have areas of, traditional support for the NC and the PDP that they may be holding on to.
Back on, ladies and gentlemen, and let's get you up to speed here on the battle for the states, even as the exit polls are coming in. It's the mega poll of polls. Let's quickly look at Haryana and a lot of the pollsters. If you look at the poll of polls, a lot of the pollsters have given Bhupinder Hooda-led Congress party in Haryana and overall the a runaway victory. That's what they've done. This is, we are looking at Congress and the BJP, not the PDP in this one. So it's Haryana 90 seats. So we will just, there's just been a jump here, ladies and gentlemen. The PDP it's just been a jump. So those PDP numbers were actually the Congress numbers. So clearly they are emerging as the single largest party. Minimum 55 to 60 seats is what the Congress is currently in pole position to get. Earlier in the day, we had Bhupinder Hooda casting the ballot and Avantika Singh was in conversation with him. Listen to it.
लग रहा है देखिए एग्जिट पोल तब आए वो तो कभी ठीक भी निकल जाते हैं कभी गलत भी निकल जाते हैं लेकिन हम तो पिछले कितने दिनों से कह रहे हैं जब से हमने कैंपेन शुरू किया है कि लोग मन बना चुके हैं अब की बार हरियाणा में कांग्रेस सरकार
भूपेंद्र सिंह हुड्डा और कांग्रेस के सीनियर लीडरशिप ने जगह जगह रैलीज की लोगों को संगठित किया तो वहां से क्या फीडबैक मिली कि जिसके कारण कांग्रेस सत्ता में आ रही
जो 2005 से 2014 तक कांग्रेस की सरकार थी उसकी उपलब्धियां और इसकी विफलताएं 14 से 24 तक बीजेपी जेजेपी की कोई काम नहीं किया उन्होंने हरियाणा को पिछाड़ने का काम किया है और भ्रष्टाचार किसी और कोई काम नहीं हुआ यहाँ तो इस वास्ते लोगों ने मन बना लिया है मतलब बेरोजगारी में नंबर 1 हो गया महंगाई में नंबर 1 हो गया कानून व्यवस्था बिल्कुल चरमरा गई कोई अपने आप को सुरक्षित महसूस नहीं कर रहा है
किसान जवान पहलवान के ऊपर सियासत पूरी तरह से लग रहा है कि घूम गई
तो किसान भी नाराज इससे जवान भी नाराज और भाई पहलवान भी नाराज जो है हरियाणा तो किसान जवान पहलवानों का प्रदेश है
मुख्यमंत्री को लेकर सीआरपी की बैठक होगी 8 तारीख के बाद जिस तरह के संकेत मिल रहे हैं क्या लग रहा है
जो विधायकों का मत लिया जाएगा और फिर हाईकमांड फैसला करेगा जिसको हाईकमांड बनाएगा मुख्यमंत्री बन जाएगा
So this is just hot off the plate, ladies and gentlemen. He's spoken with us, the News 18 network, yet again. And then important, Tuin Sinha of the BJP with us. Tuin Sinha, he says, Kisan bhi naraz, Jawan bhi naraz, Pehlwan bhi naraz. हरियाणा तो किसान, जवान और पहलवान का प्रदेश है, तीनों ही नाराज चल रहे हैं. इनको कहां से वोटें मिलेंगी?
Well, good evening, Anand. Good evening, everybody. You know, there is only so much that the exit polls can predict, as we have seen in the last Lok Sabha elections. But more importantly, in smaller states, the turnaround time is very quick, like we saw in Chhattisgarh last year. If you had asked me 1 month ago, yes, we were, slightly behind the Congress party, but in the last 3 weeks or so, a lot of things have changed. Number one, the public humiliation of Kumari Shailja, a Dalit leader. Number two, the fiscal anarchy which Congress has wreaked upon neighboring state in Himachal. Not only in Haryana, but in several other states now, people are extremely wary of, trusting the Congress party. Plus, of course, there was a sentiment that even the sports persons were being exploited by the Congress party. And besides, BJP has a tendency to peak at the last moment, peak at the right moment.
Exit polls are saying 30 seats bhi mushkil hai. Out of 90 seats, 30 seats also difficult for the BJP. You changed the chief minister, you've had a new total government altogether.
This is going to be very similar to the Chhattisgarh elections. We are going to scrape through and get a simple majority. I can tell you that.
So you are saying you will get 46 or 47 seats, contrary to all that the pollsters are saying right now.
Probably more than that. Probably more than that, because the double-engine Sarkar has delivered. On the other hand, people still remember the dark days of Bhupinder Hooda, the kind of transfer.
Do they remember, or the 10 years?
So
there is a sentiment, sir. That's the punchline of Bhupinder Hooda. I'm asking you again. Kisan, Jawan, Pehlwan, तीनों नाराज है. Now he's not saying any caste. He's saying these three big contributors to Haryana from Haryana. किसान और फार्मर्स,
नहीं है. देखिए,
जवान और अग्निवीर एंड पहलवान विद व्हाट हैपेंड.
पब्लिक इनसे नाराज है. जिस तरह से पहलवानों को इन्होंने एक्सप्लॉइट किया है, पब्लिक इनसे नाराज है. हकीकत वही है. किसान भी नाराज नहीं है, कोई नाराज नहीं है. ये एक देखिए, एंटी इनकम्बेंसी वोट जो है बहुत स्वाभाविक होता है 10 साल के बाद, लेकिन एक प्रो इनकम्बेंसी.
We'll pause, and I know this is also going to be close to you emotionally, because you've written a book on what could be an ideal format in Kashmir and how things could move on. I remember that book. Now we've just got Daisy Raina, first Kashmiri Pandit lady to contest the election after 32 long years. She's contested from the RPI. Daisy ji, namaste.
Namaste, namaste, namaste.
Okay, if you can hear us, I'd like to understand from you your experience of contesting the elections, और जो exit polls बता रहे हैं, आप वो सब देख रहे हैं कि आपको लगता है नतीजे कुछ और होंगे?
जी. देखिए, यहाँ पे 4-5 साल से काम कर ही रहे हैं, जमीनी सतह पर देख ही रहे हैं. यहाँ पे हालात तो पहले से बहुत ज़्यादा बेहतर हो चुके हैं, जो पहले हो चुके थे, लेकिन अब यहाँ पे बहुत बेहतर के लोग अवेयर हो गए. ये बहुत बड़ी बात है कि लोग अवेयर होना वही है कि हालात ठीक होने वाले हैं. कि लोग अगर अवेयर हो गए कि जो गलत राह पे थे, कि हमें यहाँ पे चेंज चाहिए, वो चेंज यहाँ पे दिख रही है. इन इलेक्शंस में हमें वो दिखी कि यहाँ पे लोग चेंज चाहेंगे, तो आगे यहाँ पे अच्छा आने वाले दिन अच्छे ही होंगे कश्मीर में.
बट ये जम्मू का रुझान अलग लग रहा है, कश्मीर का रुझान अलग लग रहा है. क्या ये ऐसा ही लग रहा है आपको? ग्राउंड पे ऐसा ही चलेगा?
ग्राउंड पे ऐसा ही है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे बहुत सारे लोग इस टाइम इंडिपेंडेंट कैंडिडेट्स, इंजीनियरिंग पार्टीज के कैंडिडेट्स या नए कैंडिडेट्स उभर कर आ रहे हैं. जो मैं भी एक नई हूँ रिपब्लिकन पार्टी ऑफ इंडिया से, लेकिन यहाँ पे नए कैंडिडेट जो आए तो वोट बहुत ही दिक्कत.
तो नतीजे आपको क्या लग रहे हैं, कैसे होंगे?
नतीजे बिखर चुके हैं, लेकिन आफ्टर ओवरऑल तो मुझे लग रहा है कि एनसी ही आगे बढ़ रही है,
नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस ही आगे बढ़ रही है. और अगर ऐसा सिनारियो हुआ कि दो पार्टियों के पास नंबर्स हैं और किसी को जोड़ तोड़ की सरकार बनानी पड़ेगी, तो फिर क्या होगा? आपको क्या लग रहा है जम्मू कश्मीर में क्या हो सकता है?
देखिए, क्या हम ये कह सकते हैं कि बीजेपी का तो यहाँ पे इतना नहीं था. बीजेपी ने कैंडिडेट्स भी नहीं उतने उठाए हैं. लास्ट मोमेंट पे उन्होंने 2-4 कैंडिडेट्स उठाए, तो फिर वो नहीं लग रहा उनका क्या होगा क्या नहीं होगा, ये नहीं कह सकते. लेकिन नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस का यहाँ पे ठीक लग रहा था शुरू से ही, जबकि वो अलायंस में कांग्रेस के साथ है, तब से उनका अच्छे नतीजे जमीनी सतह पे दिख रहे हैं. ये चीज है.
जब आप लड़ने गए ग्राउंड पे, तो आपके साथ कैसा बर्ताव था वोटर्स का, कि ये पंडित है वोट नहीं करेंगे, पंडित है वोट करेंगे, ये वाला सिनेरियो था, कि कैंडिडेट के हिसाब से आपको जज किया उन्होंने?
जी नहीं कैंडिडेट क्या, यहाँ पे ये अवेयरनेस आ चुकी है कि ये जात पात अब देखी नहीं जाती है. यहाँ पे काम पे फोकस है सबका, कि जिसने काम किया उसको वोट डालना है. ये कोई नहीं देखता कि कोई कश्मीरी पंडित है क्या है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे यूथ बहुत अवेयर हो चुके हैं. यहाँ की यूथ जो वेल एजुकेटेड यूथ से, बेरोजगारी तो है बहुत, लेकिन लोग इतने है कि नहीं, हमें उसी को वोट करना है जिसने 5 साल यहाँ काम किया या 6 साल काम किया. हमें ये नहीं देखना कि कोई रीजनल पार्टीज यहाँ थी या जो भी पार्टीज पुरानी थी जिन्होंने काम किया या नहीं किया, लेकिन जिस बंदे ने काम किया, चाहे वो कोई भी हो, इंडिपेंडेंट हो, जो भी हो, मुझे रिस्पांस उस हिसाब से अच्छा मिला यहाँ पे कश्मीर में.
तो बावजूद इसके आपको लगता है नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस के कैंडिडेट्स को ज्यादा वहां पर कश्मीर में ज्यादा ये मिलेगा, ट्रैक्शन मिलेगा?
हाँ, वो क्योंकि पुरानी पार्टी है यहाँ पे, सबसे पुरानी पार्टी. हम तो नए हैं. मेरे तो 15 दिन थोड़ी कैंपेन चली है. 15 दिन की उससे भी मैं कह सकती हूँ, अगर मुझे कुछ थोड़े वोट भी मिलेंगे, वो बहुत बड़ी चीज है कि लोगों का सपोर्ट मुझे बहुत मिला 15 दिन के कैंपेन में. लेकिन जो यहाँ पे नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस पहले से थी, काम कर रही थी, लोगों का तो मन थोड़ा सा जमीनी सतह पे मुझे लगा नाराजगी है नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस से और पीडीपी से, क्योंकि वो लोग कह रहे थे हम नोटा पे करेंगे वोट, हमें किसी ने काम नहीं किया यहाँ पे, तो हम यहाँ पे वोट करने के लिए तैयार नहीं है. मैडम, हम आपको वोट करेंगे, लेकिन आप लेट आवर्स में आ गए, आप पहले तैयारी कर चुके होते तो हम आपको ही वोट करते. ये चीजें मुझे देखने को बहुत मिली जमीनी सतह पे. लेकिन अब यहाँ पे नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस की पुरानी असामिया जो है, वो वोट कैसे लेते हैं, क्या लेते हैं, वो तो सबको पता होता है, लेकिन इनकी असामियां होती है, वहां पे करना है वोट. और ये है इन्वॉल्वमेंट भी रहता है।
डेजी जी, फर्स्ट अप कंग्रेचुलेशंस कि आप लड़ी चुनाव, समय ज़्यादा होना चाहिए था लेकिन अब तैयारी आगे की है भविष्य के। वी विश यू ऑल द वेरी बेस्ट। थैंक यू फॉर स्पीकिंग विद अस। तोहिन सिन्हा, तौसीफ शाह स्टिल विद अस, निकुल पटेल लीडर ऑफ द कांग्रेस पार्टी विद अस, रशीद किदवाई, आरती टिक्कू, नलिन मेहता एंड अद्वैत अकाला विद अस at this point. Now, taking all of these conversations, how do you see Jammu and Kashmir panning out?
Well, Anand, I think the biggest takeaway from this election is that India has shown that people of Jammu and Kashmir believe in Indian democracy after the historic decision of August 5th, 2019, when the central government abrogated Article 370 and 35A. This is a vote in favor of peace and democracy, because in the last 5 years, I've been on the ground, I live in Kashmir, and I can tell you with confidence that people in Kashmir want peace more than anything else. The charade of, somebody saying that this is a vote against the decision of August 5th, 2019, or this is vote against the BJP or Hindus, even though, some people say that it's a communally polarized verdict if we go by these numbers. But I think what people really on the ground feel is that last 5 years, Kashmir actually earned the dividends of peace that came after the abrogation of Article 370. And it's not lost on anybody. In fact, that is why we saw massive number of voters coming out to vote, regardless of who the party was in contest.
Right.
And also, please note that BJP has not even tried its hand in Kashmir. If or when the BJP does contest, then we can actually draw, a different analysis from that. For now, I think the real takeaway is that it is an election for peace and democracy.
So ballot over bullet is the net
Yes.
message that's coming in from the
Across
voters of
the
Jammu and
90
Kashmir.
seats, I think BJP, if I'm not mistaken, is contesting only 68. 68 out of the 90, and in Kashmir, I think they're contesting 18 or 19 seats. So they're not even
19
contesting
seats in Kashmir,
the entire
And Zaka,
20 seats.
they don't have a pan JNK, face. And that is also, when terms of government formation, that will play a very important role. Here is a situation, Zaka, as you were referring to, as a single largest party or single largest group. And then you have Farooq Abdullah, a politician among politicians. As a, that old Hindi song says, "Tu mere पैरों में घुंघरू बांध ले, फिर मेरी चाल देख ले." You will see, on 8th of October, how Farooq Abdullah will, play out with all those regional parties.
We'll have to also say कि पैरों में घुंघरू बंधते हैं कि नहीं बंधते हैं,
Yes,
कि
yes, all depends
बैलेट
on
कुछ
numbers.
और बांधता है, किसी और के पैर में घुंघरू बांधता है. We'll have to wait and watch. It could be an interesting mix. We've got to take a break. We're way over time. When we come back, it's all over to you, ladies and gentlemen. Stay in the studio, our guests in the studio. But to our viewers, stay with us. We'll be right back.
At L'Oréal Group.
But in Jammu and Kashmir, it's interesting. They say the National Conference could emerge the single largest party. So their range is 35 to 40 for the National Conference plus Congress plus. So that's the INDI alliance there. But the PDP not part of that INDI alliance. PDP is 4 to 7. BJP is 20 to 25 seats and the others are 12 to 16. So in this case, the numbers clearly from Bhaskar show that the Congress plus combination, that is the National Conference largely plus the Congress party, will be 35 to 40 there. So believable, not believable, Aarti Tikku, Rahul Shivshankar, Nalin Mehta?
Well, Congress 35 to 40, are we talking about?
Congress is National Conference plus
National
Congress.
Conference plus
yeah.
Congress.
Yeah, Congress plus National Conference, I think can get up to that number. But notice, they are still not halfway through.
Yeah.
So they will still need some support either from, I don't think PDP will be supporting them, but more likely Sajjad Lone People's Conference. They might seek their support and some independents also. But I also feel that the BJP is going to do much better than this, given how hard they have worked on the ground in Jammu region, and also the fact that a lot of independents have also are contesting in these elections. So we should not, ignore that.
Yeah,
factor.
Sea Water has put out its numbers for Jammu Kashmir, and for the Jammu region of 43 seats, they are giving the BJP 27 to 31 seats. Congress Plus, that is Congress Plus NC, is 11 to 15, PDP is 0 to 3, and the others are 0 to 1. So the moment the BJP gets into the 30 plus range,
yes,
then the story becomes very different compared to it getting stuck in the 20-25 seats
my
range.
sense is,
Yes, Nal.
So I think we also have to see these numbers in the context of how different this is from the last election. In terms of that while it's okay after 10 years you're having an election, but this is a totally different election from ever before.
Yeah, because also delimitation has happened. The constituencies are broken up.
But look at the turnout numbers also, in terms of the actual campaigning on the ground and the kind of numbers that have turned up. These are unprecedented numbers of people in these regions who are voting. So while BJP is going to remain strong in its bastion areas of Jammu and so on, but in the valley you've never seen this kind of turnout ever before.
Yeah, and it's a very good point that Nalin's making, because the turnout is also reflecting a aspiration amongst a large number of Kashmiris to vote out the establishment, right? If you look at the establishment as the Abdullahs and the Muftis, because there are 3 elections that have taken place in this union territory. So Jammu has voted, if these numbers seem to be suggesting, and from anecdotal data that's coming through in the conversations that we've had, Jammu seems to be polarized towards the BJP. Then you have 2 regions in Kashmir, where in the North Kashmir, the real trouble zones, you've had a large number of independents. And I would really love to speak to our bureau chief there, Ishan, because he'll be able to tell you exactly how the
It's the battle for the states, ladies and gentlemen. The exit pollsters have put in their numbers for the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. 90 seats there going to the ballot, and of course Haryana, that went to the ballot in a single phase. The state of Haryana, again 90 seats. The pollsters are saying that it's Congress one way in Haryana, but it's Jammu and Kashmir. Has Jammu voted differently from Kashmir, or will the scenario be different? It's the single largest party that will then be invited by the Lieutenant Governor to come and stake claim to form government. And what could be the combinations? We'll take you through the poll of polls of Jammu and Kashmir in a bit. I'm Anand Narasimhan. With me in studio Zaka Jacob and Rahul Shiv Shankar, along with Pradeep Bhandari of the BJP, Nalin Mehta of Money Control, Adwaita Kala and Aarti Tikku, senior journalists, political commentators, authors, they're all with us. But first, and we're also going to be joined by a slew of guests through this broadcast. But first, let's take you through the poll of polls. What are the pollsters saying, and how are the trends looking basis the exit polls? Many would say we'll discount the exit polls. Omar Abdullah says this is nice time pass. I hope he's enjoying passing his time this Saturday evening watching us here at CNN News 18. Sea Water says that the NC Congress combine is going to have perhaps on the upper side clear numbers to form government without anybody's help. 48 is the upper band, 40 to 48. Dainik Bhaskar says again that this is the combine that will be the single largest grouping, pre-poll grouping, 35 to 40 seats. Gulistan News again says they will be the single largest pre-poll grouping. But then Gulistan News, which is the local channel, says that this could be a Khichdi Sarkar. It could be hung there and none can form the government without some of the able allies or friends within either the other parties or the independents, or they will have to look to each other. People's Pulse 46 to 50. That's a clear big runaway number that People's Pulse is giving again to the National Conference and the Congress Party combined. Although the BJP believes they will emerge as the single largest party, the National Conference, Syed Aga Ruhullah, telling us here at the Battle for States at CNN News 18 that the National Conference will not, that doors to an alignment with the BJP are closed. We will not go with them. We will look to others within the valley or otherwise, but we will not look to them. That's what he said. Let's try and go across to our guests, and also Zaka first up on the wall. It's difficult to plot Jammu and Kashmir, isn't it? Because of the delimitation, the whole scenario looks different. But does this show a fractured mandate again?
Yeah, so like I said, if you look at the poll of polls, 2 out of the 4 are showing that it's a hung assembly, whereas 2 others are showing that it's a clear mandate for the formation, which is National Conference and Congress. But this is how it looks like. And the reason why Jammu and Kashmir, there are multiple reasons why this is a historic poll. First after abrogation of 370, first after delimitation. So you have no reference point to the previous elections because the constituencies have changed, the profile has changed, the borders have changed, the populace has changed, the voters, the electorate has changed. But this is how it stacked up back 10 years ago in the 2014 election. PDP had emerged as the single largest party, BJP had 25, the second largest party, and they came together in a post-poll alliance. This time too, if it is a hung assembly, as 2 out of the 4 polls have predicted, then the BJP is in business. But who are they in business with? That is the bigger question. This time around, one other significant factor that's happened is there are much smaller parties, Sajjad Loan's party, Engineer Rashid's party, the Jamaat party, the Apni party, all of them, if they get single digits and if that adds up to a critical mass, and if that critical mass is required by whoever it is who can then go ahead and form the government, whether it's Congress NC combined or whether it is BJP, that's going to be critical. But ultimately, I think the people of Kashmir and the people of Jammu will be absolutely thrilled that after 10 years, they have had a peaceful election, through the panel. We've not had one single major instance of disruption, violent disruption of the poll. And I think that in itself is a huge
and people have clearly chosen the ballot over bullet. They want peace. Mandate for peace is what Aarti Tikku was saying. Ravinder Raina, BJP candidate and President, Jammu and Kashmir, BJP with us. We also have Amitabh Mattu, Professor Amitabh Mattu, Dean and Professor, School of International Studies, JNU, served as advisor to the JNK CM back in the days. Aditya Gupta, candidate of the PDP. Sheila Rashid Shora, academic, is also with us. But first we'll go across to Shri Saifuddin Sos, who is with us. Sos Saab, namaste, and namaste to all our other panelists also. Former Union Minister and senior leader of the Congress Party, Saifuddin Sos Saab, how would you see the exit posters? All right, we'll try and go across to him. We'll go to him in just a bit. But Mr. Amitabh Mattu, the trends, how do you see it? Are they different from what you believe will happen on ground? Or are they mirroring your thoughts?
First of all, I think exit polls in the best of situations in Jammu and Kashmir have always got it wrong. But let's assume that these are trends and not actually numbers that we need to focus on. The trends seem to reflect what I think anecdotally one had assumed, that the NC and the Congress would do well in the valley, while the BJP would have an upper hand in Jammu. Now, what is counterintuitive is that the smaller parties have done much poorly than one would have expected. Engineer Rashid, if you remember, for instance, during the parliamentary polls, Lok Sabha, he defeated both Sajjad Loans from the PC, People's Conference, and Umar Abdullah. But this time, if your figures or the poll of polls suggests is good evidence, then his party seems to have done very poorly. Similarly, Sajjad's People's Conference, Altaf Bukhari's Apni Party, Ghulam Nabi Azad's Democratic Progressive Party, and the Jamaat, if all told they're going to only have 8 or 10 seats, then it's not. Then it suggests that there has been a clear swing towards the NC and the Congress, with the PDP in the south still emerging as a major actor, and across the Panchal in Jammu, you clearly have the BJP dominate, with NC, however, having a presence as well. The clear question really is on the 8th. If the NC emerges as the largest party and the NC and the Congress have a majority, then it's a no-brainer. However, if BJP emerges as the largest and the NC and the Congress still have a majority, then would the governor use his discretion to invite the NC first? The third scenario, even more complicated, which is the BJP emerges as the largest, but the NC and the Congress have larger numbers but do not form a majority, in which case the independent MLAs come into
well, the National Conference, Mr. Amitabh Mattu has already said that they don't want to align, or they don't want to have any truck with the BJP. That door is already closed.
I did not even suggest that. I assumed that by what they have suggested, that the NC and the Congress and the PDP would not enter into an alliance. I think the cost of a tactical alliance, even now, for the cost of sharing power, would be so huge that they will diminish their base entirely in the valley.
So, we've got Mr. Saifuddin Sos and Ravinder Raina also with us, along with Kavinder Gupta, Sheila Rashid and Aditya Gupta. We'll just go across to them. Saifuddin Sos Saab, namaste. Can you hear me, sir? Your thoughts on the Jammu and Kashmir elections? The trends show it will be the
Yes,
JKNC and the Congress party that will emerge as the single largest political grouping across the 90
Yes,
seats. Your thoughts?
I'm happy. I'm happy that after 10 years, we shall have a government here which will be a stable government led by National Conference. And I see a situation that National Conference and Congress, so it will be a stable government. They will have their numbers. The trend is that, and other secular, parties can also join. I will not be surprised that CPM will have a seat. He will join. Altaf Bukhari Sahab may consider. So it will be a stable government because first of all the National Conference, then Congress, then even PDP, and if Congress and this PDP also join, it will be a very stable government and no friction. And I am so happy that after 10 years I am looking to the future, a stable future politically for the state, and it will be a government that will run its course and there will be no political tension around. This is my feeling this evening, and I am celebrating this moment.
Ravindra Raina, do you agree, disagree with Mr. Saifuddin Soz?
Sir, I do believe that BJP will emerge as single largest party. What I have witnessed in whole of the Jammu and Kashmir, the way people supported Bharatiya Janata Party,
Where will
I
you
am
get
quite
the numbers?
sure.
Where will you get the numbers?
I hope that we will touch the 35 number of seats, and with the support of some independent candidates from Kashmir Valley and some of the like-minded groups, we will be in a position to form the government in Jammu and Kashmir. I have seen people rushing in the rallies addressed by Honorable Prime Minister Modi Sahab, Honorable Home Minister Amit Shah Sahab, and all the BJP stalwart leaders.
That is
during
a
this
situation
election
that
campaign.
prevailed the other day. It is today that the votes are being counted, and around the corner there is a situation that it will be a stable government led by National Conference and Congress, and of course PDP will
Not
also
at all,
join.
sir.
I have a
National Conference.
You will see the
I
numbers.
believe-
Where
I
will
believe,
you
sir,
get numbers that you will form the government?
We will get number. We will win around 35 seats, and with the
Numbers are
support
not
of
available
some
to you.
like-minded
Numbers
groups
are
and
not
independent
available to you.
candidates from Kashmir Valley, we will
There are
form
no
the government,
groups
sir.
available.
I
There
am
are no
quite
groups
confident.
available.
Let's wait for October 8. Let's wait for October 8, the day of counting, and I am sure that
results
some of
are
the news
before us.
channels, those are
The writing is on the
projecting
wall.
the
It
BJP
will be a
numbers
stable
will
government after
So,
10
sir,
years.
there is a view that
Led by National
many of these
Conference
independent
and
smaller
Congress
parties, if they become kingmaker, if no
it will be
party
National
crosses the
Conference,
halfway mark, then
led
these smaller
coalition,
parties would prefer
maybe
to ally
Congress
with
and
the
PDP
party that is
also
ruling
join.
at the centre, for obvious reasons. How would you respond to that, Saifuddin Soz?
You see, it can be a situation if in Delhi there is a BJP-led government.
Yes.
There is a BJP government. But here there is no scope for BJP. BJP doesn't have even figure to exist as the second largest. How do you bring in BJP this
but
evening?
Mr. Soz,
It will be a stable government. I am happy. Kindly listen to me. It will be a stable government led by National Conference, and other secular parties will also join Congress and PDP. A very stable government. I am happy after 10 years, Jammu and Kashmir people will have a relief in political terms. It will be a stable government, and they will enjoy
So,
the
sir,
fruits of
Ravindra Raina wants to
development.
respond, and then Rahul Shivshankar has a question for you. Yes, Ravindra Raina.
Yeah, please.
Sir,
please,
Professor Soz Sahab, with all due regard and respect, I would like to ask you a question. If BJP emerged as single largest party, and then there are some sizable number of independent candidates. There will be a government in Jammu and Kashmir that will be the most stable government, and that government will be the people's friendly government. That I do believe. I am sure that BJP will emerge as single largest party. In no case.
No, kindly listen to me.
In no case, sir.
Kindly listen
what
to me.
I have.
We are a democracy, and we are part of the democracy. And where can you get numbers? You will see the situation. It is a matter of very little time. It will be a strong coalition government led by National Conference, and other elements will be Congress and PDP. This is my analysis this time.
Well, you
will see the result.
One can't argue. One can't argue with Mr. Soos on the numbers, because if it does turn out to have... Mr. Soos, 1 second. If it does turn out to be the largest pre-poll, they will obviously be called first, and there will be chances that they will form the government. But Mr. Soos, you are talking about the BJP having no scope. One second, sir. Yes, sir. 1 second, sir. 1 second. You are saying that, the BJP has no scope. The BJP has no scope. Yes, fine, okay. What about the Congress? You sound like a cheerleader more for the National Conference than for the Congress party that you have served for many, many decades. Where is the Congress?
The
Congress remains
National Conference,
policy
PDP, Congress. I speak for them.
No, but I'm asking you, what about the Congress party? The great Congress party led by Rahul Gandhi, the new, hope for this country, is not making an impression on the voters of Jammu and Kashmir. This must really hurt you, sir.
Rahul.
Yes, sir.
No, Congress will be a strong
but he
force
started his
in the
parliamentary
coalition.
career as a National Conference MP.
Yes. Yeah, I'm asking. The point is that, and it's a very specific question, why hasn't the Congress been able to capture the popular imagination, Mr. Soos?
So you ask me this question?
Yes, sir.
Oh, Congress has the space, and it will prove its mettle. If they lose some seats, it will be for small number. It is a big force. But of course, Congress, National Conference is leading because they have the space. We must accept that. So I have a feeling that it will be a strong coalition government led by National Conference. Congress, of course, Congress and PDP and other secular groups will also
the counter
there.
I'm not
very
convinced by that.
I am happy after 10 years.
No, but the point is, sir, that even the National Conference, Saifuddin Soos, the National Conference MP Syed Aga Rula was with us a short while ago here on CNN News 18, and he very clearly said that he was a little disappointed with the effort that the Congress put. That there was a far greater expectation from the coalition partner that the Congress would put more effort on ground, not just in Kashmir, but also in Jammu. And Mr. Omar Abdullah went on record to say that they would like to see the Congress more active in Jammu than what they are actually doing. Mr. Amitabh Mathur?
There's no doubt that leaders like Soosab, of course, couldn't have campaigned as actively, but the Congress did not show its really best foot in Jammu. Whether it would have made a difference or not is for people like Ravindra Rana and other Jammu political leaders to say, but their campaign was lukewarm. Having said that, I think we have to wait till the 8th to decide what's going to happen. If what you are saying in terms of the polls is what we go by, then it suggests that the Congress and the NC will be close to a majority or in a majority. If that is the case, and the PDP, according to Soosab, will also support this alliance, then clearly they will be asked to form the government. There are three things that you need to recognize. First of all, it's a huge victory for democracy, as you have pointed out. More importantly, I think everyone wants a democratically elected government, because I think after nearly 10 years having elections and having lieutenant governor's rule for 6 years, there is a yearning for actually elected representatives, no matter which party they belong to. So third is, what we want is stability. And if people like Soosab and others, from me including the BJP, arrive at a reconciliation where they can actually arrive at a common agenda for the people of Jammu and Kashmir to ensure that the next government, whether it's a Congress, NC or a PDP and independent government, remains stable. You need to have, even if you have an oppositional government in the state, you need to have connections with New Delhi. You need to take the leadership of the country also.
Right,
so
but
people
is
like
that going to happen, Mr. Matul? Let me just take this.
I think that people like Saab and Farooq Abdullah Saab and others who are senior leaders and Ravinder Raina Saab can play a role in terms of at least ensuring that whichever
Mr. Ravinder Raina believes that the NC and the PDP will not have a role to play. That's his point of view. His point of view is that the exit poll is going to be bucked.
Yeah, but
on the day of the results.
Let me ask him worst case scenario. Ravinder Raina ji, worst case scenario, if you have the Congress and the
give a very
NC
stable government.
Will you help them ensure that Delhi will support a government?
Ravinder Raina.
Sir, our country is a democratic country and we have all respect and regard for the people's mandate. Our Honorable Prime Minister, our Honorable Home Minister have already did tremendous work in Jammu and Kashmir. Whatever may be the situation, in every situation, it is our constitutional obligations and from the core of the heart, Prime Minister Modi Sahab again and again called the different political party leaders and discussed the various issues pertaining to Jammu and Kashmir. We are in a democracy and we respect the people's mandate. I hope this time people will definitely support BJP and there will be BJP government. And whatever may be the, on 8th of October, wait till 8th of October, whatever be the people's verdict, definitely that will be respected.
I think we can thank Saab and Raina Saab. Thank you very much for joining us. We with the promise that you'll join us on 8th again. Irrespective of which way the result goes, whether it is Congress NC or whether it is BJP plus independence.
There is Aditya Gupta and Shaila Rashid there in the mix along with our guests in the studio. But Aditya Gupta, Mr. Saifuddin Soz has openly said, so has Aga Ruhullah, Syed Aga Ruhullah, the PDP can join us. If you are in a position to form government, the PDP can join us. Given the numbers the exit pollsters are giving, PDP doesn't seem to have much choice there.
We have been very specific. We said that the secular government will be formed in Jammu and Kashmir and the PDP will be part of it. We have been on record saying it. There is no possibility of any secular government being formed without PDP. So as far as the numbers are concerned, these numbers will see the light on 8th, whether they are correct or not, because I have my own caveat as far as the number is concerned. But fact of the matter is
you're fighting the election yourself, so what's your sense? Let's understand that. Where do you see the elections going and the mandate going?
See, to be very honest, as far as I'll give a take as far as Jammu is concerned. Jammu, the voter this time has been absolutely silent. The polling booths have been so silent that it has never witnessed this kind of silence. The voters have not opened up to whom they have voted, but they have voted on agenda this time. They did not vote on the fact that Jammu being a bastion as far as Hindu dominated population, so it will vote for BJP. It voted this time because of the anti-incumbency of the last 6 years. The last 6 years have been marked with the sharp rise as far as the unemployment is concerned. There have been drug mafia, there have been mafia raj in Jammu. Just a moment, sir.
आएंगे और
he's patching up two channels together.
I think he's speaking on another channel.
He's speaking on a different channel.
Yeah, we just checked. Go ahead.
See, as far as Jammu is concerned, the issue has been marked with unemployment. The drug mafia has been here. It had discontent because on 5th of August 2019, Jammu celebrated. There were firecrackers, people were on the streets, there were hardly any restrictions. But when the judgment of the abrogation came from the Supreme Court in December 2023, even the BJP office was silent.
Government?
Because
this is remarkable. So closing rank against a complete geography is what we are going to witness. I mean, that scares me actually.
No, he's saying the opposite. He's saying that even in Jammu, where the traditional... No, what he's saying is even in Jammu, where the traditional sort of bent of mind is that they'll vote for the BJP because it's Hindu population, Hindu dominated. He's saying the voter has been silent. The voter has not showed his or her preferences this time.
I'm going by the numbers. I'm going by the numbers. Okay. These numbers don't seem to suggest that Jammu is overwhelmingly voting for anyone else except for the BJP. Yes, I mean, you can add 10 more there, but I don't know. I'm worried
I
about
straight will put a
this
caveat.
fault line. I'm really worried about this fault line. It worries me.
Because I'll explain. Because this line was created in 2014 to start with. Prime Minister, in a rally when he was the Chief Minister at Vijaypur, did mention about such a thing. That he in a rally in 2014 during his parliamentary campaign, he said that the Jammu has been lacking because the Kashmiris and the Kashmiri leadership
So
has
let me
taken
flip
fear
this.
out of it.
We can
Just
flip this.
just a moment. Don't become BJP.
No, we are not. I'm just going to
wait a
flip
moment.
this.
Let
I'm
me
going to
finish
flip
off.
this. Why have you failed to win the confidence of people in Jammu?
I'm telling you, you look at the numbers at your BJP have been riding so high on 5th of August 2019 on abrogation. This number would have been 40. The question did not come. See, as far as we are concerned, we suffer because BJP not only betrayed Kashmir but has also betrayed Jammu.
Okay, so Shaila Rashid is also joining us. Shaila is from Kashmir and she's lived through this, abrogation of 370. And if these numbers hold, Shaila, there's one view that Congress and NC and even the PDP candidate here takes, that this is a sort of affirmation by the people of Jammu and Kashmir that they want 370 back. This is his contention, because if 370 was abrogated and people were happy about it, then the BJP should have got much more numbers than what the exit polls are suggesting. That's his contention. How do you respond, Shaila?
So first of all, this election and the way that people have placed their faith in the democratic institutions, it shows a rejection of all the conspiracy theories that were thrown around, beginning with the EVM hacking theory, and then with the BJP proxy theories, that the elections will be stage managed. So the fact that we have had such high percentages, it is a reflection that the people have rejected the conspiratorial mindset that the mainstream politicians have been trying to peddle. Number one, it's a win for democracy. It is a win. If we look at South Asia, India, it's a celebratory moment for India, because even in the most troubled regions of India, we have managed to have regular elections, barring the few disruptions. So if we go back a few months, you might remember the terror attacks that were happening in Jammu region.
Yeah.
And there were even apprehensions that whether we will be able to hold elections or not. So first of all, I would like to congratulate the ECI, the government of India, for ensuring a free and fair election. Why I'm saying free and fair is because if you see the numbers, they are neck to neck. There are not going to be any big surprises. I also have a survey, like a local survey in front of me right now, where barring a few seats, so for example, People's Conference has performed better than before, or is likely to perform better than before, etc. So barring a few small surprises, there are not going to be any huge surprises. What I mean by this is that wherever any party has had a strong candidate, जिसने काम किया है, जिसका track record है, जिसको लोग as मतलब integrity का face देखते हैं, people have voted for them. So unlike the Lok Sabha polls where you had a sway in favor of engineer, there's not going to be any kind of
Shaila Rashid, we'll come back to your
time.
assessment of Jammu and Kashmir in just a bit. We've got to just de-link from J&K for a bit. We're going straight across to Kumari Shailja ji, who's joining us and with a focus on Haryana elections. Kumari Shailja ji, namaste. जो रुझान है एग्जिट पोल्स के, वो एक तरफा कांग्रेस की तरफ दिखा रहे हैं. करीब 55 से 60 सीटों का रुझान है कांग्रेस के लिए. आप क्या कहेंगी?
जी बिल्कुल, बहुत बढ़िया मेजॉरिटी आएगी एंड आई कैन टेल यू विल डू एक्सट्रीमली वेल and definitely we should get 60 plus.
There is a lot of talk about you being happy, unhappy, the bringing in of Mr. Ashok Tanwar in the late hours. Was that a message to you? Your meeting with Sonia ji said that all is not well within the Congress party. Your thoughts?
Well, let me tell you, all is not well with the media because all this that you're saying is not right. It's not correct. But yes, I think all of us should be very, very happy with the kind of results that are predicted. We had predicted this earlier, and now even your exit polls are putting a stamp on it. So let's just wait for the 8th.
But ma'am, if it is 60 out of 90 as you're claiming, and most of the exit polls, the average seems to be 55, wouldn't that be considered a win for Mr. Hooda? Wouldn't he naturally be the front runner for Chief Minister?
See, that is for the High Command to decide. This has been my constant all along, and that's been a constant with the High Command and the way our party works. when we win a state, usually we have a CLP meeting, and then onwards it goes to the High Command, and it's left for the High Command to decide.
But you are also one of the chief ministerial contenders.
Well, let's see.
but the seats, in terms of the breakup, we are given to understand there are 9 or 10 seats that where your entire voter base and supporter base holds sway. How confident are you on those seats? Because a certain level of strike rate, winnability will also be considered.
That may be your analysis. I'm not aware of its seats and all, but I think overall all of us have contributed, especially the workers, under the guidance of Rahulji, his yatra, his work, the whole environment that is created in the country today. I think that is the major contributor towards this victory, and all of us have worked hard on the ground.
Many have also said that the reason why Congress has done so well in Haryana, at least as far as the exit polls are concerned, is because of Jat anger. How much would you attribute it to that?
See, there's anger in every section. Whether I won't like to single out one community. There's anger in every community, and the results will prove that.
But I want to go back to that question. If it's 60 out of 90, a bulk of the candidates happen to be Mr. Huda's choice, don't they? That was also one of your problems.
Ultimately, they are all Congress choice, and it's the High Command's choice.
So, ma'am,
everybody gives recommendations. There are other inputs and the host of things which go into deciding who the candidates will be, as well as who the chief minister will be.
We interviewed him a short while back, and he said, "Kisan, Jawan, Pahalwan, sab log naraz hai Haryana mein."
And even beyond that.
Even beyond Kisan, Pahalwan, Jawan.
Yeah. See, in Haryana we say Chhattis Biradari.
Yes.
Chhattis Biradari naraz hai, whether it is the urban voter or the rural. And I think that includes everybody, whether it's the poor, whether it's the agrarian, whether it's the middle class, whether it's the traders, shopkeepers, industry, everybody. Even employees, I think every section.
Okay, one final word. What about women? Because there's been a lot of focus about Haryana women vote this time around.
Yeah, definitely. Women are playing an important part because of the inflation, rising prices. They are the ones who've been hit the most, how to run a household. Sometimes I think they are a forgotten factor.
So you are confident that you will not be forgotten as one of the chief ministerial hopefuls post 8th once this result fructifies?
Haryana's first.
As I said, it's for the High Command to decide.
Haryana has never had a woman chief minister.
No.
You could be it.
That remains to be seen. High Command will decide. That's my common refrain.
Okay, thank you, Kumari Sehjaji. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll take a quick break, but right on the other side, our coverage continues.
At L'Oréal Group.
But in Jammu and Kashmir, it's interesting. They say the National Conference could emerge the single largest party. So their range is 35 to 40 for the National Conference plus Congress plus. So that's the INDI alliance there. But the PDP not part of that INDI alliance. PDP is 4 to 7. BJP is 20 to 25 seats and the others are 12 to 16. So in this case, the numbers clearly from Bhaskar show that the Congress plus combination, that is the National Conference largely plus the Congress party, will be 35 to 40 there. So believable, not believable? Aarti Tikku, Rahul Shivshankar, Nalin Mehta?
Well, Congress 35 to 40, are we talking about?
Congress is National Conference plus Congress.
National Conference plus Congress.
Yeah, Congress plus National Conference, I think can get up to that number. But notice, they are still not halfway through.
Yeah.
So they will still need some support either from, I don't think PDP will be supporting them, but more likely Sajjad Lone People's Conference. They might seek their support and some independents also. But I also feel that the BJP is going to do much better than this. given how hard they have worked on the ground in Jammu region, and also the fact that a lot of independents have also are contesting in these elections. So we should not, ignore that.
Yeah,
factor.
Sea Water has put out its numbers for Jammu Kashmir, and for the Jammu region of 43 seats, they are giving the BJP 27 to 31 seats. Congress plus, that is Congress plus NC is 11 to 15, PDP is 0 to 3, and the others are 0 to 1. So if the moment the BJP gets into the 30 plus range,
yes,
then the story becomes very different compared to it getting stuck in the 20-25 seats
my
range.
sense is, yeah.
Yes, Nal.
So I think we also have to see these numbers in the context of how different this is from the last election. In terms of that while it's okay after 10 years you're having an election, but this is a totally different election than ever before.
Yeah, because also delimitation has happened. The constituencies are broken up.
But look at the turnout numbers also, in terms of the actual campaigning on the ground and the kind of numbers that have turned up. These are unprecedented numbers of people in these regions who are voting. So while BJP is going to remain strong in its bastion areas of Jammu and so on, but in the valley you've never seen this kind of turnout ever before.
Yeah, and it's a very good point that Nalin's making, because the turnout is also reflecting a aspiration amongst a large number of Kashmiris to vote out the establishment, right? If you look at the establishment as the Abdullahs and the Muftis, because there are 3 elections that have taken place in this union territory. So Jammu has voted, if these numbers seem to be suggesting, and from anecdotal data that's coming through and the conversations that we've had, Jammu seems to be polarized towards the BJP. Then you have 2 regions in Kashmir, where in the North Kashmir, the real trouble zones, you've had a large number of independents. And I would really love to speak to our bureau chief there, Ishan, because he'll be able to tell you exactly how these independents have been able to carve out an identity for themselves. Because this is a very important election. So you might have areas of traditional support for the NC and the PDP that they may be holding on to, but the other areas there has been.
See, I'm not even sure how the exit pollsters will capture the mood in Kashmir Valley and also in Jammu, not just the valley but or the entire Kashmir region, because the dynamic on ground is very different.
We've also forgotten there are a whole bunch of new voters.
Yeah, that have not just new voters, new candidates, fresh faces also.
Exactly. Rashid has a whole party. He's fielded 35 candidates.
You have for the first time reservations for a whole bunch of other people who never had those. So look, there's a lot that has changed.
There are a lot of additions to the voter list also. We've just got T.S. Singh Deo, the former Deputy Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, senior leader of the Congress Party, also with us. T.S. Singh Deo ji, namaste. This is Anand Narsimhan here. With me, Zaka Jacob and also Rahul Shivshankar, along with our guests. Back live with the Haryana poll of polls, ladies and gentlemen. The mega poll of polls gives the Congress a runaway victory. It's the single largest party with a clear majority. There is no pollster who's saying, except for Dainik Bhaskar, that it is not going to cross the majority mark. The Dainik Bhaskar's lower median is 44. That's still just too short of the halfway mark, that is, or the majority number, that is 46. Halfway mark is 45, 90 seats. But look at where the BJP is. Only one pollster is saying that the BJP will cross the 30 seat number in Haryana. Otherwise, they are going to be between 18 to 29. That's where the median is, that's where the range is for the BJP. Clearly, even the other smaller parties, JJP plus, others, none of them very significant to make a solid impact. It's only the Bhaskar number at the bottom that is giving some number or some heft to the others. And that's also, the seats are being pulled away from the BJP's kitty and it's going into the others. But overall, between 55 to 65 seats for the Congress party. That's where it looks like. Rahul Verma is with us from outside the studio, and then we'll bring it into the studio. Pradeep Bhandari is here, Aarti Tikku is here, Advaita Kala along with Rahul Shivshankar and Zaka Jacob. Yes, Rahul Verma, your assessment
on Haryana? Largely, yes, I think because there has been an expectation that Congress is going to do better in Haryana, since BJP has been in power for last 10 years, and there has been number of issues which has come up in last couple of years, including farmers' unrest, and then there were issues with wrestlers. There is some economic anxiety. So in sum total, the BJP in Haryana faces a formidable challenge. Even when they were running government last time, they only had 40 seats. So with 10 years of anti-incumbency, and that too with anti-incumbency at the center as well as state level, it would have been a very, very difficult task for BJP to improve its position from 40 seats. To me, I think BJP in both states, their sort of strategy would be simple, to hope that Congress does not get outright majority in either Haryana or Jammu and Kashmir, and BJP emerges as a single largest party, hopes for a situation where a post-election coalition can be cobbled up. Even in 2019 in Haryana, BJP was a coalition government with the support of JJP.
I think this time around though, Rahul, correct me if I'm wrong, I think in Haryana at least it's very clear. It's a straight up two-horse fight. It's either BJP or it's Congress. I think the smaller parties, particularly JJP and INLD, etc., I think the voters don't want to be seen as... It's a mentality, right? You don't want to waste your vote on a ghoda that's not going to win. So you're backing either, one of the two parties that you think will win.
So, Jaka, this trend was even visible in 2024 Lok Sabha election.
Yeah.
Let me just give you a number, which is that if you look from south to north, any party that was not part of either NDA or India Alliance got squeezed. AIDMK in Tamil Nadu, YSRCP in Andhra, TRS in Telangana, BJD in Odisha, BSP in UP, INLD and JJP in Haryana, Shiromani Akali Dal in Punjab. In almost every state, if you were not part of either NDA or India, you were squeezed. And this is happening in Haryana as well.
So it's like the polarization or consolidation in favor of one grouping or the other grouping is happening. A third grouping is not being looked at all. And largely we are seeing Vidhan Sabha also getting into two-party situations. Jammu Kashmir being an exception because this time around it's happening after a lot of disruption, delimitation, etc. Into the studio here, Pradeep Bhandari.
Well, Anand, there has been a consensus on the panel, particularly on Jammu and Kashmir, on 3 points. A, that it's a big win for democracy. B, that it's an end of terror politics. And C, that it's a complete failure of Rahul Gandhi. And I'll tell you how. Congress party is fighting on 32 seats. The Bharatiya Janata Party is fighting on maximum seats in the valley. Point number one. The Bharatiya Janata Party is the single largest party, even if I take your exit poll. That is point number two. Look at what has happened in Shopian, what has happened in Supor. All these places were places which were known for blackout. Those are places which were known for shutdown calls. Today, you've seen more than 40-45% voting in both these areas. So it's a big win for Indian democracy. Now, let me come to the specifics of it. Lectures were given, Anand, by a party, PDP, which got mere 8% vote share in the recently conducted Lok Sabha election, and Mehbooba Mufti herself and a party lost the election. The Bharatiya Janata Party, even on vote share terms, was the single largest party in the entire Jammu and Kashmir in the recently conducted Lok Sabha. We are very, very confident that by consolidating our entire bandwidth in Jammu and also increasing our vote share, in particular in many seats in the valley, and also we have a highly likelihood of winning certain seats in Jammu and Kashmir, might be in Kashmir, might be single digit seats. We will be in catching distance of forming the government, and there cannot be a government in Jammu and Kashmir without the BJP.
You're saying exit polls have not captured what you're saying?
I am saying that the exit poll is underestimating the surge of the Bharatiya Janata Party in Jammu and Kashmir, in particular in Jammu. They are overestimating the
So you are saying that you may be in a position to form government without the PDP or the National Conference?
Not maybe. We will be in the position of forming the government. You will see a newer alliance, a newer coalition, which will be having the Bharatiya Janata Party as the dominant and the main party.
So let me ask Pradeep one second. You are saying you will need the help of some independents, newer parties.
Yes.
Will you or will you not join hands with Engineer Rashid's party?
Well, that is the post-poll decision that the party will take. Any individual or anybody who is interested in taking the state of Jammu and Kashmir forward, who believes in nation first, will be coming with the Bharatiya Janata Party.
Shankar, you have a thought or two to say about that? If the BJP were to join hands with Engineer Rashid's party, would that be kosher for you?
No, I mean, look, I've always even opposed the tie-up with the PDP in the past, because I believe that individuals in the past who have sort of sworn allegiance to the Indian Constitution have meant it only because they've seen power and they see the opportunity to capture it. But fundamentally, look at what all of these political parties are demanding. The BJP says that there is never ever a circumstance of going back on its decision on 370. But a large number of these players want to actually, unfortunately, bring back Article 370.
So are you trying to say an engineer Rashid today is not asking for going back to the old system?
Engineer Rashid is demanding the release of what he calls are political prisoners. You have the Jamaat that very recently and continues to be banned in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. So look, fundamentally we can all celebrate democracy, and it's great that people are at least getting the opportunity to exercise vote, and for that the credit has to go to the BJP. They've created the enabling circumstance in this entire geography. But the fact is, what are these people asking the vote on? What are the issues? And none of those issues match in any way the BJP's outlook.
So there is no common to have a minimum program. Nothing common.
Look, you had one with the PDP, but then look at where the PDP is today. The PDP is finished. So if these political entrepreneurs want to then sort of find themselves discredited or rejected by the people of Jammu and Kashmir, they'll take that risk. But that's a risk.
It is near to impossible to have a government in Jammu and Kashmir without any representation of Jammu. That is point number one. Point number two, I give it to you in writing that it will be a Bharatiya Janata Party led government. That is point number two. Point number three, anybody, any individual, any political party which will join the Bharatiya Janata Party led alliance, it will be nation first. So there will be no compromise on the abrogation of Article 370. At the end of the day, we want the Indian constitution, democracy and nation interest to win. Today, this is the first election where there have been zero indulgence from Pakistan and proxies of Pakistan in the valley. So I believe it's a larger cause post abrogation of Article 370.
Arti Tikku Advaita Kala, the probability of Kumari Shelja becoming Chief Minister of Haryana is greater than the BJP forming government in Jammu and Kashmir? or is it the other way?
When the Congressies will not,
or is it the other way around?
That's nasty. Well, I think in J&K, BJP has a good chance of forming the government. And in fact, earlier in the discussion, somebody was saying that, in fact, Mr. Soos was saying that National Conference, PDP and Congress together will be the most stable and the most secular government. But I think BJP singularly today is actually in the position to form a coalition government and a pluralistic government, which will involve everyone, which will take everyone along and be an inclusive government.
No, but who will they join hands with? Will they join hands with Sajjad Lone? Will they join hands with Engineer Rashid? Will they join hands with Altaf Bukhari?
I think BJP will be in a position to dictate the terms. See, we shouldn't look at this election only from a provincial point of view, only from an assembly election point of view. If you really look at the history of Jammu and Kashmir, this is for the first time all the disgruntled elements, including Jamaat-e Islami, including those who were part of Hurriyat Conference, they've actually now contesting, and actually they swore by the Indian constitution when they contested the elections. So I think we should not look at it from a very...
The SDPI also swears by the Indian constitution when it's standing for election, but the SDPI happens to be the political wing of a banned terror organization. All these 4 or 5 people who have exited or who have somehow been able to contest the election have links with the Jamaat-e Islami. The Jamaat-e Islami is a banned terror organization.
Rahul, you're absolutely correct, but at the same time, we will have to see what the terms of this arrangement, this coalition government that will come up after the elections are out on 8th. And I think my sense is that BJP will be determining those terms of arrangement, that terms of agreement with all the political parties, and it will be a historic document. It is not going to be any other or any other
there is one aspect. Now, if there is a party which is like Engineer Rashid's party, which has got 38 members or 38 candidates, 35 candidates have been freed. There are other people, other elements who you say in the past were separatist, etc. They have now come back and participated in the democratic process, and they have said,
no,
and
they've
got a mandate. What I'm trying to say is, there is a situation in the past where a Sayyid Salahuddin had the mandate of the people but was not given it. And imagine and guess what he did and what turned around that sword in the 80s. Now there will be a
but
story.
He wasn't a booked terrorist back then.
I'm just saying,
he
is there going to be
prosecuted by the law? He became disgruntled.
Hear me out.
These people are already.
Engineer
they
Rashid,
already have a record.
please listen to me. Engineer Rashid continues to be in jail. He's not. He's out on bail. He'll go back to jail.
So
once his bail
why
is
don't you
dismissed.
sign up with Amrit
No,
Pal?
there are so many political parties, political leaders who are out on bail on various acts which are against the law of our country. Are they stopping them from contesting elections?
There is a difference.
Now, I'm just saying, if this person says, no, I'm reformed.
Yeah,
I'm saying, is this the story narrative? Hear me out.
Those are different.
Hear me out, Rahul. I'm saying, if this is the story narrative that then is built, that we don't want to create another era of dissonance, and people who trusted the system, came under the constitution, are now being moved aside, are not being given a chance at governance, then what is going to be the narrative? What will you then say? What will you then say? If an engineer Rashid and his party tomorrow come and say, we give up our old ways, we swear by Bharatiya constitution, then should they get a chance or not?
The BJP already tied up with the PDP. They had a common minimum program. Who actually pulled out of it? So is this a recipe for stability or is this a recipe for wrangling?
Rahul, let me put this in perspective. In fact, before 2019, 5th August, Jammu and Kashmir was being dealt with in a different framework altogether. 2019, it's been a political tectonic shift in Jammu and Kashmir, whether you agree or not. But the fact is that political resolution of Jammu and Kashmir, which was lingering on for 70 years, it's been settled on August 5th when Article 370 was abrogated. Because you remember, that was the condition on which Sheikh Abdullah negotiated with the government of India in 1947, in 1950. So we should not, you continuously are equating Jammu and Kashmir, today Jammu and Kashmir, with what Jammu and Kashmir was 5 years ago. You will have to factor into the fact that in the last 5 years, there is a paradigm shift constitutionally, politically,
that might be
and
fine.
also socially.
On 370, I do have a point to make. I think Omar referred to this in the campaign as well. No matter which government comes to power in Jammu and Kashmir, I don't think they can restore 370. 370 has to be restored in Parliament.
It's never going to happen.
It is a constitutional amendment. It has to happen in Parliament.
It's never going to happen.
Unless you have the numbers in Parliament, I don't see them restoring 370.
It's never going to happen.
It's a rhetoric. You can put it in your manifesto, but it's not going to happen.
Let's not get confused here. Gentlemen, the point is this, and it's very, very clear. The point is that the terms of the politics have not changed. Yes, your equations might have changed when it comes to constitutionally the mechanics in which this state or this area is going to be governed. Remember, the governor will retain veto power. Let's not forget that. But the terms of the conversation on the ground have not changed. Yes, there's peace.
No, the terms of conversation have also changed.
Where have they changed?
The terms of conversation on ground have changed. Terms of conversation on ground.
One second. Rahul, one second, sir. Let me finish my point. It's not fair. I'm making a very simple point. How do you sit opposite the National Conference that has in its manifesto come out and said that we want, whether it can deliver or not is a different matter. We believe that there should be talks with Pakistan. We believe trade should resume with Pakistan. We believe fundamentally that people who have been jailed because their rights have been abused, they should be released. Pelters should be rehabilitated. How are you going to sit with somebody who says that Article 370 is for us a fundamental ideal?
Who's going to sit? Who's going to sit across?
The NC and the BJP.
NC and the BJP are never getting into an alliance. NC and the BJP are never getting into an alliance. The NC itself has
then what is the difference between getting into an alliance with Engineer Rashid's party? He's saying exactly the same thing.
How are the MPs in Parliament sitting next to a Farooq Abdullah and Aga Rullah in Parliament? They are here in Parliament with their stated position.
Do you believe that Engineer Rashid should be in Parliament?
Are you trying to say that the people's
do you think Engineer Rashid should be in Parliament? Yes or no?
If Engineer Rashid
yes or no?
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Rahul. If Engineer Rashid and his entire party stand together, hold the constitution in their hand, and we swear by the tricolour, and we want to change our ways,
but he's booked.
Give us a chance because give us a chance. Give us a chance because we've been elected by the people. Are you going to say that you will take away their elected mandate from them?
Amrit Pal has done the same thing.
You cannot take their elected mandate from them. That's not a democracy. A democracy doesn't allow us. that.
Come down a notch and let's get Advaita.
No, much as you and me may not like an engineer Rashid,
Advaita first, yeah.
Okay, my point is then ask the BJP, ask them, why did they allow engineer Rashid's people to contest the election? Why did they allow Jamaat-e-Islami to contest the election? Why did they allow anybody to allow them?
It's the election commission. It's the election commission.
Why did the election commission allow them to contest the election?
Ask the election commission.
No, but if the people have voted for them today, can the election commission say, sorry, I made a mistake, I can't let you fight?
They voted for Amritpal Singh. Does he deserve to be, should he be part of some
So then let the election commission decide that. You ask that question of the election commission. You can't blame 20 lakh voters who have voted for Amritpal Singh.
No. I am only looking at
because the people got a choice and they exercise their choice. That's their fundamental constitutional right.
Then you can also tie up with the SDPI in another state.
So they are. The Congress party is.
I'm not
and
talking,
the SDPI still is a political party.
I'm talking about the BJP.
See, please ask the government of the day and the election commission that if a PFI is banned but its offshoot SDPI is officially listed as a political party, they are allowing it. It's a constitutional body like the election commission, knowing fully well that's allowing it.
The BJP
so then if people are voting for it, that's how it is. That's the democracy we live in.
Engineer Rashid, the BJP should tie up then with Amritpal. The BJP should
BJP will tie up with whoever they believe they want to tie up with, and the people will vote for whoever they want to vote for it. You can sit here and say whatever you want, sir. But the point is, if the position is held as constitution.
Let's bring it back to our election coverage.
If somebody is holding the constitution, can you challenge the person, deny that person their right?
Very clear. The Bharatiya Janata Party will only tie with an individual who has the Tiranga in his hand and the constitution in his hand. It's as simple as that. And we welcome any individual who has the Tiranga in his hand
there
and
you
the
go.
constitution
There you go, Raul Shankar.
Is
your question answered now?
Pakistan.
The BJP has already said that they will tie up with Engineer Rashid and his party if they get the chance. That's what it is.
Article 370 is permanent. Nobody in this world can change it.
There is one gentleman who has both in his hand, the Tiranga and the constitution, and that's Rahul Gandhi.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, exactly.
Tie up with him as
well. Exactly. Now go ahead, please. Now, that's exactly what I'm trying to tell you.
Anti-national bulate ho, sir.
There is a difference. I'll tell you. आप तिरंगा हाथ में रखो, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन दूसरे हाथ में रखो, पर अगर आपकी नीयत में खोट है और अगर आप पाकिस्तान के स्वर में स्वर मिलाते हो तो फिर आप एक बैरिकी हो।
So you tell me that engineer Rashid की नीयत में खोट नहीं है, लेकिन राहुल गांधी की नीयत में खोट है. That's what you're saying, Pradeep Bhandari.
Okay,
is that what you're saying?
Please, let's get
intent. You tell me.
Is that what you're saying?
Anand, I'm asking you. If individuals in Jammu and Kashmir have voted an individual and they say that they swear by the Constitution of India, they swear by nation first, they go against the Pakistan, they say they are against terror. Do we not support them?
Correct. So then the individual. This is an individual with a Tiranga in his hand, with a Constitution in his hand, who's been voted by the voters not just of Wayanad but also of Raebareli. So are you going to say and you yet call him anti-national?
His alliance has been rejected.
It's politically convenient and inconvenient. Advaita Kala.
Oh,
yes.
Whew. I think I should volunteer to moderate. Okay, very quickly. See, if we can tie up, and I think the Home Minister has done a brilliant job of that in his tenure, which is, reaching agreements with the Nagas, very recently with Manipur. Why make Kashmir the exception? Let it also, even the people there who feel the need that they're turning towards the Indian Constitution, that road should be open for them. And I want to move away from politics and just say, look, you've had a great voter turnout in a state that has, been troubled for a long time for whatever the reasons. Secondly, most of the voters who turned out were women. So that's a big sign, and that's a great sign, because I hate to say this, gentlemen, since you're all on the screen with me, but women are more collaborative and they do have an eye on the future. And I think that's a very good sign, because it tells you the future for Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir, is to be wholly integrated with India. And I think the turnout tells us that. So I'm actually very pleased. It doesn't matter who wins. Eventually, someone will have to win, someone will have to lose. But I hope Article 370 stays, which it will, because it's Parliament.
They've said that.
I think we really have to wrap up.
She's absolutely right. And he's right too. They hold the tricolour and they hold the constitution. There are some people in Kashmir who want to hold two constitutions and two flags.
Correct. All right. On that note, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed this broadcast as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you, ladies and gentlemen. Ultimately, anybody and everybody who works for democracy and respects the ballot should get a chance if they have been elected and voted to govern. That we'll get to know on result day. To join us back then on that day here at CNN News 18 in the Battle for the States. Signing off for the moment. But in Jammu and Kashmir, it's interesting. They say the National Conference could emerge the single largest party. So their range is 35 to 40 for the National Conference plus Congress plus. So that's the INDI alliance there. But